Hi, and welcome to the Kobold Cafe. This is Star Trek Pathfinder, and I'm Colin, the GM. With us tonight, in somewhat alphabetical order, is Daniel.
Hello. Should I say anything?
Yeah, just you're the character you play in
Oh,
like
I,
two
I am
sentences.
playing Tesora, the science officer.
Easy enough. And Everoth.
Hello, everyone. I am Everoth, today playing Lieutenant Commander Eversol. Uh, Happy to see you again.
And James.
Hey, I'm James. I'm playing Tanjot. Tanjot.
Tanjot.
Tanjot.
Tanjot. Tanjot. I will forget that immediately.
And Tara.
Hi, I'm Tara. I play Captain Demore, a Cardassian badass lady from Badass Town.
And Tom.
I'm Tom. I play Commander Vivek, the engineer.
All right, and today's episode is episode 2, A Tribble Threat.
You didn't give me an opening thing, so.
An opening thing. Oh my god.
So, I'm not gonna be able. It's one of those cold start episodes where we start someplace,
thing?
but there's
Oh.
no captain's log to this episode.
Oh, actually, then, yeah, so while
So, I'm not gonna be able
I
it's
give
one of
that
those
to
cold start
you.
episodes where we start someplace. Are you gonna have me cold read this shit? Okay.
so
I'm
let's
embarrassed
start
dyslexic girl.
let's start with everybody but Tara. In a holodeck program, maybe we discussed having like a bar as a sort of a holodeck, like a home base, so to speak. So, oh no, that's right. It's a '50s diner, like a
Right.
50s doo-wop diner. So everybody's hanging out in there off duty. So what's going on?
Mm, I'm eating fries and a burger.
Okay, are you guys sitting together or separately?
I'm probably at the bar.
Does the holodeck like when you eat in the holodeck, does it fill you with actual sustenance? Is that a sensation?
It's replicated food.
Yeah.
So yes, it's real food. Oh.
I mean, you could pretend to eat light versions, but it does replicate food for you.
Well, what about alcohol? Because it's a diner. You said.
Yes, it's a
Yeah.
50s diner.
Tesora is just hitting the jukebox repeatedly because she saw on a TV show that this is how you operate. It is not working.
Awesome.
You did some archaeological research there.
Yes, I swore in the vids that this is how you operated.
Okay. Is anybody else doing anything of note? Okay. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, is there some need to research anything? Any
Well, this
previous
is just the
logs or
opening
junk?
bullshitting segment.
This is just the opening scene to kind of stall for time because I forgot to give Tara the captain's log ahead of time.
Oh, I'm gonna screw this up any which way, but whenever you're ready, I'm gonna cold read this after reading it through a couple times and screw up on everything.
That would be out, don't worry.
All right. Well then, this was a completely useless scene, and we will
That
just
was
go straight.
completely useless scene.
We'll just go straight to
Opening credits.
opening. Oh well, no, the captain's log.
Yeah, I know. Opening credits and captain's log. All right. Captain's log. Stardate 60413.0. We been dispatched to the Europe system to follow up on late shipments of grain. The Jurjar people of Europe 3 are heavy agricultural producers of nutritious and healthy grain called Pangan?
Panganen.
Panganen. Oh, I see you phonetically for it for me. Panganen. The Federation has God, I cannot read.
Contracted.
Thank you.
Yes.
Contracted with them to purchase their entire crop of several years to support our colonies in the Alpha Quadrant. Subspace communication with the Jurger trade representatives have been met with excessive excuses and platitudes. And Admiral Singh hopes that a Starfleet ship in orbit will be more likely to get a straight answer from Jurjar.
Okay.
I only screwed up a little bit.
So the scene opens with your ship, and I'm gonna throw an image of that up for
People watching at home.
yes. That I may have forgotten to. Anyway, the ship traveling through space, entering into the Europe system. Europe 3 is the only M-class planet. There's, a couple other terrestrial or rocky planets and a single gas giant. Nothing really exciting to speak of, but I will say that the folder. Sorry, I'm multitasking. Zoom. Okay. There's the ship for the people at home. All right. Doom. Okay. It's Europe 3 is a large terrestrial planet, meaning it's a couple of size categories larger than, say, Earth. It has a very mild climate, and there are large tracts of land dedicated to agriculture. Even just from orbit, you can kind of see the nice even lines of organized agricultural production.
Okay.
The planet has no salt water, and instead of oceans like you would expect on most planets, it has large inland seas of fresh water, kind of speckled around. But it's more surface than ocean.
Okay. What shift are we on?
I imagine that when you reach the planet, you kind of call in the A team. So the main or you may have even figured it out in warp, so you wouldn't arrive in like what your ship feels like is the middle of the night.
Okay, so it's like the morning or something. I just wanted to know.
Yeah.
The time of day.
Yeah.
Quote unquote time of day.
Right. According to the ship's clock, I don't know. It's before lunch.
Okay. So, just for flavor in the beginning, because why not? Do you mind if it's a little bit of flavor since the holodeck scene was a little dead?
Yes.
All right. I will have Vivek up on the bridge right now, as he's usually down in his hold. Is that okay with you, Tom?
Yeah, it's fine.
And I'm looking at the chair, and I'm pointing to the armrest and says, "All right. Right there. Cup holder."
Okay.
I look and say, "My Retigino has fallen on my lap 3 times already. These chairs are not designed to be able to hold anything at all. Can you do it?"
Yes, ma'am.
Good. I look around the bridge at like the other people who have chairs, and I go, "Does anyone else wish a cup holder installed in their chair?"
Like everybody kind of trades glances, and one by one, everyone's hands go up.
Yeah. I
Excellent.
I'll delegate that.
Can
I
we get
look over
can
at
we get
you.
seatbelts too?
Yeah. Also,
I'll look. Who said that? Was it just Lieutenant?
Oh, you have no idea.
And Ensign, I'll look and say, whoever said that, that's a good idea. Can we get seatbelts installed too?
yeah, and fuses while I'm at it.
Or if you wouldn't mind, one of those little levers that pops out a leg rest would be dark.
Okay, gradually turning the bridge into a living room.
I'll kind of look and go, Lieutenant, let's draw the line at fully sleeping while on duty.
I wasn't joking when I said I could pilot this ship in my sleep.
Granted, but I don't want Ensign Katalski to be falling asleep on the night shift. On the what are we running? 3 shifts, 4 shifts tonight?
3.
On the 3rd shift.
Oh, very well. Just as well, we're just arriving in Europe 3, which, according to the data on this log, this will be their 3rd attempt at making a European civilization after people kept leaving the first.
Wah wah.
Okay. So, the 3, because Daniel and maybe not all the viewers might know, but just indicates that it is the 3rd planet from the star.
Joke.
Yeah, I know. Just realizing that that's one of those things that we kind of take for granted. All right, so before we go any farther, there's I'm going to gradually introduce some of the more complex rules as we go on in this game. For now, I wanted to bring up the directives. So for every mission, there's going to be a couple of directives that just sort of, outline the mission itself, and they work the same way as the oh god, what are they called in the characters? Values. So I mean, you can tag them, you can challenge them. So first, the prime directive is always in effect. So that's the one, Daniel, about not fucking with pre-warp cultures.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And other things. There's subprime directive nonsense.
Yeah, the temporal prime directive doesn't matter. That's the big one. And then underneath that, for the entirety of this first season of this game, the directive will be build trust and goodwill towards the Federation in the region. And then for this specific episode, it's make every effort to resume timely grain shipments to the Federation colonies in the Alpha Quadrant.
Okay.
All right. All right. So as you pull into orbit, you guys notice that in very stark contrast to the planet you were at last time, there is a lot of traffic in orbit, especially for a more rural planet. There's 6 or 7 different starships in orbit, and shuttle traffic to and from several major cities on the surface, kind of delivering or transporting people. Further scans indicate that the ships that are in orbit with you are from several minor races around the quadrant, so that would be like the Arcarians, like Tom's character. There's Talarians, and then Ferengi, and no Romulans, none of the big races. Most of them are shipping various food products, including Panganan, though a couple of them are actually delivering manufacturing or agricultural supplies to the service.
Okay.
So you are in orbit, Captain.
Yeah, are we gonna get? Do we have a contact that we're supposed to call, or are we just hailing the fleet overall, or the planet overall?
I mean, it's the trade representatives is who the Federation has been in contact with in the past.
Okay, well then I will hail the Trade Federation.
All right. A fairly young man, at least for what you would expect to be a bureaucratic position, answers. He identifies himself as KO, Chyo, and he is the one of the trade representatives uh, that deals specifically with the Federation.
And do we have a title for him or just Mister?
Yeah, Mister's fine. I mean, his title is trade representative, or his job is trade representative.
Okay, trade representative for KO. This is Captain Demore of the USS Percival here on the behalf of the Federation.
He actually looks startled and then embarrassed and then a little nervous. And he's like, I'm sorry, I probably should have expected them to send a ship sooner or later. I expect you're here for the delayed grain shipments.
Or shipments to resume. We're not picking them up ourselves.
I regret to inform you that there's been a slight snag.
Oh,
We've been dealing with a fairly severe pest problem. The
pest, you say?
the crop has been diminished by a very fast growing vermin, and all of our attempts at eradication, they're barely even slowing it down.
They're not called tribbles, are they?
We don't know what they're called. We've never seen them before. I don't think they're native to this planet.
The only pests I see is all these ship traffic around me. What are they here to buy if not grain?
Well, we have several crops, and not all of our agriculture has been overrun. So far, it's mostly been contained to the sections of the planet that grow the panganan.
I
How
will.
inconvenient.
I will say. Well, we do need that grain for our colonies, so maybe we can lend a hand. Could you send perhaps the data of these pests?
I mean, I can send what we have, but I mean, it's mostly been the farmers on the ground, and even in a couple of cases, the military sort of rolling it back. We haven't got the resources to do a scientific study. But he'll type
I
some
mean, do you have
keys.
a dead one?
He's
We
like,
could-
we've got plenty of dead ones, and he just kind of gestures out the window behind him.
I kind of squint. Can I see anything out there?
No.
I'm like, oh, okay. Yes, if you could have one transported up to our ship, we'll be happy to take a look at it.
I would recommend biohazard protocol.
Of course.
I'll make the arrangements. Give me an hour. And he logs off.
All right.
All right.
Doctor,
So
doctor,
Would he be with the group or?
probably in your medical bay. Do you hang out on the bridge?
Yes, unless he. That's why I asked. Did he had anything to do or before? If so, he would be on his office. Otherwise, he would be with you guys.
Well, usually medical staff don't hang out on the bridge. Usually we just calm down, but you could be weird.
You can call him on the office if you want.
Okay, so you're in your office. That's what I want to know. Doctor,
Yes, Captain.
prepare a biohazard shield. It's shields, right?
yeah, it's a containment field.
Containment field, and get ready for site-to-site transport for a biological specimen.
Acknowledged. Do we have any information on the matter?
All we know is that they're vermin, and we're here to help. So we're going to see if we can't figure out a way to help their grain.
Leave it to me. I at least have experience with infectious diseases, Captain.
Well, this is a pest, not a disease, but we'll see how it goes.
It's how it starts. But of course, Captain, we'll make sure to it. and he'll get the shields.
All right. At this point, I wanted to kind of talk for a moment about Panganan. It has only been able to be grown on this planet, and it's fairly well known because
It's like really good corn and it's super highly addictive.
sweet corn heaven. No, it's well the issue, or I guess the point of it is that it is a very lowly reactive food, meaning that many different races can eat it and get nutritional value from it and don't run the risk of suffering allergic reactions. And in addition to that, it's very calorically dense, which means that most humanoids don't need to eat a whole lot in order to get, their bellies full, so to speak. And so, I mean, while it's not gold, it is a pretty exciting product. Which is
I mean, gold's pretty worthless.
that is true. Unless you're wiring, and I don't think they use wires anymore, so. Okay. So, after a little more than an hour, the somebody on duty in one of the transport rooms radios to Dr. Eversole. Dr. Eversole, this is Ensign Collins in transporter room 2.
Jess Collins, how may I help?
I've got the planet below ready to transport up a deceased specimen of their vermin, and they're recommending very high quarantine procedures.
Prepare the shield and make sure to be wearing biohazard proper suiting. I will be there to receive the specimen immediately.
Okay.
Oh, they're just gonna say. I think aren't they gonna cite it?
Oh, were they going to site to site it? You didn't tell them that.
I mean, we can site to site. That's the thing. You can buffer it through and leave it in the buffer, and then transport it directly to the sick bay.
Okay. Who's operating transporters?
The engineer?
Tom.
I mean, do we have just? I assume Collins is.
I can do it.
Yeah, I think this should be a roll because there's no pad on the surface.
What would you need to operate the teleporter?
It's control engineering. The difficulty is normally 2, but since we're going site to site, it's actually 4 because there's no pad on the surface or in the med bay.
Then maybe you're right. Maybe we should just grab it.
Up to you, Captain.
Nah. Site to site.
Site to site. All right.
Good luck.
Tomas. There's obviously not been any momentum generated yet this session.
Mm-hmm.
So control and engineering is 17, which is good. Transporters focus on transporters and replicators means that your engineering is your crit range as well. So double success on 5 or better, but you only have 2 dice, and you need 4.
You can try to advise me against the site to site.
Yeah,
otherwise
like
that's what I'm commanding.
I think maybe, especially if you want it intact, maybe going down there and getting it's going to be a bit easier. And we don't want whatever it's contaminating the ship.
Could you?
God's help you if one of those things lands in my quarters, Commander Vivek.
All right, Doctor, come down. Go to the teleport pad with a biological specimen and enact a level 4 force field around the pad. Once you to be able to until it's collected.
Acknowledged, Captain. Make sure you seal out the whole area until I approve of its safety.
Tom, I'm still gonna have you make the transporter roll.
Yeah.
It's a 2 now.
It's
though,
a
right?
2 now, yeah. success on a 17 or better. There's 3. Excellent. So you generate a momentum as well. And the specimen is transported up. Is there a way for me to make a picture pop up on everybody's screen?
I don't know.
Click on it and hit share. It's like a little face icon.
I did that. Did it show up on any of your screens?
No.
No.
Oh, yes. Well, if you put Tribble in there.
I did.
But it did not show up. It just shows in the images and maps section.
Okay.
But try if you. There's got to be some I know that there is. I 100% know that there is. You just haven't found the option. But it's a right click, and it's a little guy shouting.
Do we have any Klingons on board?
I don't think so. All right. So yes, the specimen is a dead little clump of fur. They are not common. In fact, it's actually been a few decades since they've really been seen in the galaxy.
There was that infestation on DS9 like 10 years ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Still.
And I probably would have heard about it.
Okay, so yes. It is a Tribble. For Daniel and the potential viewers' sakes, this thing is voracious.
Adorable.
Yes, and it makes this cute little cooing noise. Coo, coo, coo,
But don't feed it after midnight.
No, don't feed it. They are literally born pregnant. They multiply exponentially, and with a decent foodstuff, they can overwhelm. The Federation once lost a ship to a Tribble infestation, although that's not common knowledge.
The Klingons have lost entire planets
Yes.
in their glorious war with the Tribbles.
So yes, but yes, you now have one as a specimen, a dead one, on your transporter pad.
Gonna start.
Load it into the containment.
I'll put it on the containment, and I'll start scanning it to just get as much information as I can and see if it has any diseases or any sickness at all.
All right, go ahead and give me control medicine, probably for the
Insight
scan.
medicine.
No, insight's more like human or motivations.
Oh, okay.
So reason is to
Reason?
work out a problem, and control is to do something.
That would be 11 and 5 for reason medicine.
Okay. 11, and let me just see here. Infectious diseases. So that means that a roll of 5 or better is 2 successes. You only need 1 success.
Okay, so just roll 2 d20s, right?
Yep. You got
That's
1
one
success.
success. Yep.
All right. Now the Tribbles. The Tribble is. It's been shot by a like a primitive energy weapon, but biologically it's in good health.
It seems to be injured, Captain, but
It's dead. It's dead.
Is that okay?
It is deceased. Yes.
Doctor, what is it? Because I'm up there in the bridge.
So I know it's a Tribble, right?
It is a Tribble.
It seems to be a dead Tribble, Captain.
I'd look over at the rest of the crew and kind of mouth Tribble with an inquisitive look, like I'm supposed to know.
Do I know about him from that Deep Space Nine incident?
Yes.
Oh, kill it! Get it off the ship!
I mean, it's already dead, number 2.
Yeah, except it's got another one growing in it. That's got another one growing in it.
Are there any more growing inside of each? What is this thing? That's exactly what I said.
Can I just pull up the records of Tribbles?
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, a sort of wire map 3-dimensional picture of a Tribble is thrown up on the view screen. A whole bunch of kind of disturbing information is thrown on the side. Um, they they've only been seen rarely, but they have bankrupted or even caused some entire planets to be evacuated because of how quickly they reproduce. There's not a lot of medical information about them. It's more like mission reports and things.
I would like to ultrasound that thing.
Yeah, okay, that's definitely control medicine. Alien
12 and 5.
hold on just a second. Focus. Alien medical research. Yeah, we'll do alien medical research. So that's that focus means that uh, you get double success on a 5 or better.
10 and 2.
Okay.
3? Yeah,
So 3. We only needed 2. So that's another momentum for you guys. So yes, there is a stillborn embryo Tribble inside of this Tribble.
I believe once he finds out, he's gonna open comms and say, "Captain, I believe there is a stillborn. If I could be allowed to study it on my office, I would be able to bring more information to the crew."
uh, sure. Bring it to the medical bay and do whatever you wish to it.
Knowledge, you can unseal the bay.
I mean, you can do that.
Oh, okay, I wasn't sure if I had control.
It occurs to me, Captain, if all these other people are also trading for agricultural products with this planet, are they aware that the planet is under investigation?
That is a good point. I assume not, but it might be good to let others know, although we don't want to cause a ruckus. Let me do a little. I'm just gonna scroll over my pad real quick because I, as a player, am familiar as hell with these things, but I don't think Cardassians have ever dealt with them.
Probably not.
So I'm gonna do a quick read and then call Commander KO back.
Okay.
My honest recommendation, Captain, would be to just burn every infested area.
Well, hopefully we could figure out another way to do it. Agricultural KO.
Trade rep.
Trade rep. Yeah. We actually know what these things are.
He gets very excited. He's like, "Really? Do you have a way to stop them?"
Dude, is there in the database or not?
Nope.
Well, not how to stop them. They are, as you say, very dangerous. They're called a Tribble, and I'll give them the lowdown on it.
He's like,
Just
how many planets have been destroyed by Tribble infestations?
how many?
Like 8 or 9.
Like just shy of 10.
And a whole lot more if all these other ships you're trading with take some with them back to their own system.
Yes. How long have these things been on planet and you've been trading?
I mean, the first one was spotted less than 2 months ago, but they've really only reached devastating levels in the last month or so.
Well, I would suggest stopping and checking all shipments severely and warn all the other ships, because otherwise we might be looking at a multi-planet biohazard problem.
We've been checking every other product going out. Like I said, luckily the Tribble infestation seems to be limited specifically to the regions that grow Panganan, at least for the time being.
Still, I would suggest doubling your vigilance.
I would honestly, Captain, moment.
Hold for just one moment.
The comm officer signals that it's muted.
I would honestly embargo the planet for now.
There's no need to be that rash. We're trying to create friends in this area. If we start demanding embargoes on their main trade, we're going to make enemies.
And if we don't, Tribbles are gonna get out. And there's going to be a lot more problems.
Which leads me to believe that we'll need to resolve this problem quickly. I kind of give you a little bit of a not friendly look.
Just hearing the music, the showdown music from Quick and the
But
Dead.
I will, if things do escalate, I will take your observation or your suggestion under advisement. But for now, let's try to solve the situation before we absolutely piss everyone off that we're dealing with. Shall we?
Aye.
I'll unmute and say, well, KO, we're here to help, so we will do our best to try to resolve the situation with you, but I would, like I suggest, quarantine the areas so that way you don't need to quarantine anything else.
He's like, well, I mean, we don't have islands or oceans that create natural barriers. Like, there's no way for us to quarantine our landmass.
I nod and say, do the best you can. We're going to get right on this. And if you need assistance at any time, do not hesitate to contact us.
I mean, I'll tell you right now that we're going to ask for whatever assistance you can give us.
Oh, we're definitely going to give it. It's just if anything escalates that is unforeseen.
Sure thing.
Percival out. I look and just kind of rub the brow of my nose and say, Commander, you've obviously had dealings with these things. Why don't you join the doctor? And because I don't think that he has had much experience with them.
Aye.
Lieutenant, I look over to Sora. How about you and I and Commander and Lieutenant Commander Commander Vivek, we'll look at this from a different approach. Instead of the biological, let's look at other ways that we might be able to resolve this issue.
Okay.
I'm afraid nothing's coming to mind other than fire, but that would probably also hit the crop.
We'll have some outside the box thinking while the commander and the doctor try to figure out the biological side of things.
Perhaps it would be a good idea to get a little closer look at their landscape and see where the infestation might spread.
All right, let's start with Tanjot and Eversol. I imagine you're doing a medical. Are you just analyzing, or are you trying to come up with a way of stopping?
I am first analyzing the Tribble and the Stillborn separately, while I'm trying to come up with a way to stop this. I'm not sure They have told me the details about the corn, so I wouldn't be able to request yet a sample of it so I could analyze it too. But right now, just analysis before I find a solution.
Okay, so let's do your reason and medicine.
Hmm?
Supported by Tanjot has had practical experience with this.
He might have even. Were you on DS9 during this, or would you just hear about it?
I think I just heard about it.
Was this before? I'm trying to remember DS9. The wormhole had already opened up before it arrived. Before like DS9, the series.
No,
No,
it was like
that was
the pilot.
yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to think if Tesora would have been on Deep Space Nine at the time, but I think she went through the wormhole before that happened.
Yeah, well, it was this happened, I think, during hostilities with the Dominion, but before they had come through and co-opted Cardassia.
Oh, but during the hostilities with the Dominion. Okay, in that case, she would have dealt with.
Okay.
Or well, I don't know. She was involved. She was on our side, like on our side of the wormhole during this time. But I don't know if what did it affect? Did it affect the entire?
They overran the
Season 5,
station.
by the way. It was season 5, so right during the middle of the shenanigans with the war.
Okay. Well, continue doing your stuff because I'm not in that scene.
Okay, so
Yeah, actually, it's entirely possible that I was on DS9 at the time. Luke or Ringy, that's your call.
no, you were not.
No. Okay.
But you had friends who were.
Okay.
Okay. So hold on just a second, sorry. Tanjats should support with I think actually presence and I mean
Maybe security?
yeah. Yeah, presence security. So let's see here.
Sounds like he's going, think faster.
Well, he's giving the benefit of, well, no, we tried that. Nope, we tried that too.
Gotcha.
And we are implementing that new rule with assistants, right?
Correct. So so the two of you, since Tanjat is supporting Eversoul, go ahead and roleplay out a quick scene where you guys are sort of having your conversation. It doesn't even necessarily have to be about the role specifically, as long as you just talk about, something your characters would be talking about.
Man, I had a friend who had to deal with these things back on DS9, and oh my god, apparently it was a disaster getting them off a space station. I couldn't, like, how are we gonna get them off a planet?
By the Prophets, by the way.
By the Prophets, yeah.
Really, they do not seem more than just 90% fair at this moment. Maybe the analysis can give us more to work around. What was the problem around then when they hostile psychic?
They're not hostile. It's just, they one becomes two, two become four, four become eight, eight becomes 16, and that was the first 20 minutes.
Huh. So they just reproduce by themselves without any partners.
Yeah,
Fascinating.
they just reproduce. I mean, honestly, I think our best bet is we need to figure out like some sort of Tribble targeting virus to just kill them all.
No. Look, I've been there and just done everything by now. I will not eliminate a whole species just to avoid a panic from you and your friends from a creature that seems to be made for actually just being harvested and make linen clothing.
Underneath the fur, it's all meat.
And then eaten.
Okay.
So we could do the can of troll meat.
Well, I mean, it doesn't seem to be able to move much. I am not against I am against senseless murder, but I'm not against a cheeseburger.
It's not murder. These things are a plague, a virus. Like,
They are just an animal just like any other, and it will be dealt appropriate to the rules of medicine. Don't worry, I'll find a way.
actually, you know what? No.
Not yet.
There has to be a way to deal with them without actually killing them all.
I was in your head there, James. I knew exactly what you were about to do, but you're not quite there yet.
What do you think I was gonna do?
Oh, you were about to command him to murder those things.
Oh, no, actually, I was about to fuck with him and put a containment field around the medical bay and put a live one in there and feed it. Leave. Like, this will change your goddamn mind.
That would be an episode. In character, I cannot condone such violence, but out of character, do it.
Huh? Well, no, actually, I was thinking better. Like, no, I wouldn't. Then I'd have to deal with that problem tomorrow.
Your CEO would not be happy with you.
God, it was a diplomatic way of changing the doctor's mind. I was following the Prime Directive, proving to the doctor that he should murder everything.
So, was that qualified enough as the fluff scene?
Yeah, no, absolutely, because
Okay.
it shows really well where the two of them are, which is not on the same page, but that's great. So, we'll start with Everoth. Go ahead and roll 2d20. Success on a 16 or less. You got
would I be able to
two-
benefit from alien medical research?
If you had rolled 5 or less, yes. But as it is, you got 2 successes.
Quick question,
yeah.
Colin. Is it? I was reading through the rulebook. We all start out with 1 free point of determination every session, correct?
Correct.
And do those reset every session, or do they carry over?
They reset.
And determination, we always use a value. 'Cause last time we didn't use values.
Yeah. So this is which. It's in the handout that I pinned.
Okay, I don't see. I'm trying to think. Do you have to tap a value in order to use any of those 4 options?
I don't remember. That's why I'm looking at it. Hold on. It doesn't say here, does it?
No. I was trying to figure out like where values come in.
I believe values are how you get more determination.
Well, I know. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Well,
So
you
you
sort of compel them almost like in Fate to get determination.
Correct.
But I thought they were required for spending it as well. I can look that up while you're GMing, but
It's
I just
page
wasn't-
87 and 88 of the main book.
Okay. A character's values can help in a difficult situation. They often provide an additional push when they succeed. Whenever a character is attempting a task for which one of their values would be advantageous, they
may spend 1 point. Okay, so it
those
is.
4 options are contingent on you tapping a value.
Or directive.
Or directive, I suppose.
Or a directive. Okay. James, go ahead and roll a d20 against your presence and security, which is 14. And that's a 5. All right. So that is 1, 2, 3. Difficulty was 2. So you gain another momentum. All right. So because they are born pregnant and because they breed so quickly, poison is not a great way to get rid of them, because by the time the poison kills the parent, there's already 1 or sometimes 2 generations beyond that have already grown.
And probably grown with an immunity.
Or at least a resistance.
Yeah.
So, you're looking at like biological warfare, like that's some sort of a tailored virus, or physical means.
I wonder if we could just figure out what their DNA signature looks like and beam them all into space.
That would take a while. But I think that's our side of things. We were figuring out the non-biological approach.
Yeah. So do you guys want to do the obtain information at all, or are you good?
What were? Sorry, I think I need to. Where can I find the handout with the information of what can we obtain from this?
It's the top pinned message in the Discord voice.
And
on Discord.
but you can just basically spend was it 2 momentum, and to get an answer to something.
1 momentum to get an answer to something. So you can
So
ask a
that is
question,
successful.
and so you can spend a momentum and ask a question sort of related to that role, and I'll give you an answer if you guys have questions. Like, you don't have to; you can just bank the momentum.
So far, no.
Okay. All right, so then we will go over to the other group who are looking at physical means. Who is taking the lead on this?
So I mean, it depends on how we want to do this. We would want to. Well, first off, do any of us have any ideas? Can we transport these little buggers? Can we? I don't know. Do we want to try to?
My first thought was nano machines, but then we just make replicators, so it kind of replace one with the other.
I was thinking of genetically engineering a carnivorous version of the Tribble that would reproduce slightly faster than
Jesus
a Tribble, and then
Christ,
just
that's
feed them-
terrifying.
No.
She does have a medicine of 1, so
Well, let's take a look at this from like a mechanical approach. Like, is there a way we can use our ship?
Okay, so then let's have Vivek take the lead.
Yeah.
And that's going to be Reason Engineering at 16. I think this is a little bit too abstract for any of your focuses.
Yeah.
And then the captain, I would say you're going to use your Reason Security, which is 14, and that'll be 1 die. And
do I get any? Do you think, like? I don't know. I don't think any of these would work. No, I don't have any focuses for that.
yeah, like I said, since the objective is kind of vague, it's going to be hard to get any focuses that apply.
Yeah.
And then to Sora, I think you're going to be looking more at like the science side of things. So let's do.
what I would like to. This is a mathematics problem to some extent, and I want to find out how much time do they have down there. Okay, my concern, Captain, is that once these things run out of food, I'm not sure that they're going to just die off. They're going to start looking for a different food source. The rate at which these tribbles reproduce suggests to me that they're highly prone to developing mutations in their genetics. I wonder if this is even the same species that attacked Deep Space Nine so many years ago.
Well, at the same time, also, they don't have landmass, like he said. It is all one giant landmass down there, so they're just going to keep eating. So you're correct in your assumption, but we need to figure out a scientific way of, genociding these little beasts.
Or making them useful.
Well, I mean, I think I guess the question I have, and this is maybe more for the medical team, is like, what stimuli they respond to. And I don't know how to come at that question without a medicine score, but with science.
Maybe if you ask the doctor.
Sure, I guess. Yeah. So I can I'm not thinking. I don't know how to go at these things mechanically. I just don't know enough about them. So Commander Eversole, can you tell me a little bit more about what stimuli these tribbles react to? Do they have a nervous system? Do they seek out specific kinds of food? Do they respond to any kind of do they communicate with each other?
Could I be able to, with the information that I've been gathering, get that information?
Yeah,
Like if they're carnivorous, if they're uh, not, and stuff like that?
they're omnivorous or maybe pannivorous might be a better way of putting it. They will eat insects and small amphibians and but they tend to go for grains and anything with a lot of calories. They are not fast, which means that they are sort of easily preyed upon. That's you can surmise that their fast reproductive cycle is a an evolutionary trait of that, but nobody even really seems to know what planet they evolved on. So, their genetic structure actually has remained very consistent over the years, which is strange because you would expect um, evolution, but every time they've been seen, they've had a very similar genetic structure. So, wherever they are, they're not evolving. Um, what was the other question?
I think
Stimuli.
that was. Oh yeah.
They are able to. Their chirps are to communicate with each other, and so they can, find each other to. I guess they don't even really need to mate if they're born pregnant.
Yep.
Do we know
They
how these things got on the planet in the first place?
Doesn't matter at this particular moment. But by the way, Ringy, that might have eaten one of our moments.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's an obtain information. Okay. Do we want to get back to your guys' role for the sort of physical countermeasures?
Yeah, I think that's what I. But what we were still trying to figure out what Daniel's.
Well, you guys can roll that. I'm still pondering because I don't have any good ideas to contribute yet.
So you're not helping them in the role?
You gotta do it beforehand.
Can I assist?
Yeah.
I mean, sorry. I mean, can more than one person assist that role? It looks like they already have two people involved.
Oh
in
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, what are they doing? Are they just doing obtain information?
We were just basically doing a roll for a brainstorm of a mechanical way to resolve the situation.
So I think what I'm going to contribute, since I have a focus in mathematics, I want to contribute an estimate of just how much territory or how many of these we're going to need to kill. Every hour the problem grows exponentially, right? So I want to do a simulation of what the territory. I want to do like almost like a weather map. You know what I mean? Of like 1 day into the future, 2 days into the future, the overlay of Tribble territory on this planet as it spreads out.
That kind of seems like a separate role. So let's do then their shared scene, and then we'll have you do your role.
Okay.
So Vivek and Denmore are together. Where are you?
I think we might be down in the briefing room, probably. Tesora's over there. She's just in the corner mumbling to herself, I think.
Just mumbling formulas. Carry the two.
So okay, yeah, I'm gonna as we're doing the computer doing its thing. I'll look over it. Tesora kind of raise an eyebrow at her and then kind of shake my head and look over at Vivek and goes, "So, Commander Vivek, how has the engineering been treating you?"
Ship's bigly ship-shaped. I was thinking about these tribbles. We could, so we could even create like triple proof fencing or something if we had to, around
That's
the
an
grain.
idea.
We could some sort of either physical fencing or something just emits a signal that tells them to stay away.
She'll kind of give a little bit of a nod and then let a little bit of a sigh out because she was totally just trying to like bond with her crew, and then he just
Yeah.
went straight into work mode, and she's
Yeah, my character's like, yeah, we're good.
very good. I'll look over at Vivek again
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just kind of just cross my arms and do a little bit of a not a full face palm, but a little bit of half face palm, and just like, that sounds like a very good way to solve the situation, and just kind of give up
Yeah.
on being friendly with these two. Is that good enough?
Yes,
Interaction?
absolutely. All right, so Tom, go ahead and make the 2-die roll with your reason, engineering,
reason,
so 16 or
engineering.
less.
Yeah. How many successes do we need?
2.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, but you can. Oh, wait, you can only reroll that on computers.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, here's mine. That is 3 successes or 2 successes.
That is
We
the
made
2
it.
successes. The complication. The complication is this. It seems like no, that's not what this roll is about.
Can momentum re-roll crit or?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Only
Yeah,
determination
do it.
can.
Sorry, I'm trying to think of a good complication. I think somehow there's a Tribble on board.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
I think somehow in
Unknown
all of
Tribble.
the there's an unknown Tribble on board the ship now.
All right, and so I got a question about one of my talents.
Anybody here squeaking?
In my talent, even if I'm supporting, can I use a talent?
I
Or
think
do
it probably
you have to
depends on
do
the
it?
talent.
I wanted to use Regimented Mind after we gather information on this.
All right.
So if we spend a moment to obtain information that reduces the difficulty of the next task as 1, as long as that task is related to the information gathered.
Yeah, you can absolutely spend, since you were part of that role, you can spend the momentum.
Okay, so even though we got the Tribble on board, I would like to spend a momentum to gather information on a mechanical way to, I think it sounds like we're not trying to murder them as much as keep them contained.
So you have to ask me a question.
Okay. Is there a way to, as like he suggested, build a fence or something that these little buggers could not get around that our ship could do?
An energy field, yes, like force fields, but traditional fencing, no.
Okay. So we'd have to do some kind of energy field of some kind, and with how much territory they've already covered, our ship probably wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, but even though
we
that
could show them how to make it, and we could.
Yeah. So even though that information was a pseudo failure, that our next roll on this, my next roll on this task is,
as long as the task relates to the information that I just gave you,
yeah,
your next task difficulty reduced by 1.
Yes.
Okay. So then let's go to Sora, who is doing a mathematical computation of the growth of the Tribble population?
Yes, that's correct. Well, actually, because that kind that hinged on if we were going to do fencing. I was thinking, what would be the territory that we have to fence around? I have an alternate suggestion, and you tell me if this is science. Would there be a way to genetically modify the crops so that maybe they emit a smell that throws off their olfactory sense?
I think that's.
Is medicine all like organic stuff?
I mean, yeah, I guess botany falls under security, but to know what how a smell would affect them, you would need some medicine. So I feel like this is one that you would have to get some assistance with.
Okay. In that case, I will just do the number analysis right now to figure out how much time we have, and then that. I'm assuming that's reason science then.
Yes, reason science, and the ship can definitely give you some support on this one with computers science, which is 11.
And I'm doing a mathematics.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so that's one success, and then throw the ship.
Is that only one? Hold on. What's your reason? Or science? Yeah, you're right.
Not 17.
Yeah. Okay.
So
that is not enough for the ship.
Oh
wait, no. Yeah, no, it's one too less. Oh, but you can do your thing. No.
I forget. I'll have to look and see if I have to keep the second result. I believe I do.
I think you do.
Oh shit! So I only have one success total.
That's
I'm okay.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm okay because I'm doing all these computations, and every time she goes to type, she I heard a chirp. It's nothing. What's? And like you two turn around because you just see me like looking up into the ceiling and like looking on the floor, and you just think I'm losing my fucking mind.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, you have maybe a vague idea of the the growth, but you are not confident in the numbers at all.
It's definitely fast.
All right.
I'm going to go talk to Lieutenant Commander Eversol and see if I can devise a better solution.
Do you just leave?
Yes, I'm super frustrated, and as she's walking through the hall, like every time she turns a corner, she's looking up and down.
Right after she leaves, I look and go, "You're excused." Like as she's out the door. I'm gonna call down to the number 2. I still can't remember. Tonjot?
Tonjot!
I got it! Commander Tonjot, any luck down there?
I look over at Commander Eversol.
We have found out that the genetics is fascinating indeed. They are well adapted to genetically advance according to generations. So any immediate solution will be able to be generated at defense all along the generational line. So it has to be immediate.
Doctor.
Yes?
I did not go to Starfleet Medical. Can we kill them on a genetic level?
I need time, but I do believe we have a solution for you, Doctor. Captain.
Oh my god.
If well, my belief, if with time I am able to generate a way for them to attract into a single point from which we can dispose of them peacefully, Captain. Probably beam them up into an area where we can take them from a shuttle here in space into an adaptable planet where they would do no harm.
So honestly, nothing useful, Captain.
Thank you, Commander Tonjot. we've discovered that our traditional means that the planet could do to contain them are not an option. I have no idea what Tesora is doing. Apparently, she's coming down to see you two. At this
She's
moment,
hearing this chatter on the radio, and
I think it's 1-1. I don't think it's.
Yeah, it's
oh,
a
is it
close,
1-1? Okay, I'm sorry.
it's closed circuit between me and the captain.
Oh, okay.
But it's always on speakerphone, which is why Eversoul was able to chime in.
Yeah.
He will chip in saying, "But Captain, we can have a use for them in the future, of course. Just considering that if we are able to lure them by associating their most,
And then we can eat them.
yes, they seem to be very good for cattle. If we are able to somehow control them, I was thinking
I'm
if we are able
surprised to
to,
hear this from you in particular. I'm surprised to hear this from a human of all people. Your people have long since considered domestication and slaughter of native species on your planet abhorrent. Are you the lone?
I believe that in the medical ways, there's many ways of dealing with the situation.
Tanjot! Tanjot, get out here!
Still, Captain, they are valuable life beings, regardless of any point given. So I'm just trying to do my job as medical as possible.
I exit the.
Yeah, as you take a step aside. All right, we're not here to contain these things. They are in our way. We have a job to do. From what you have learned from not the doctor, or despite what the doctor says, can we poison them? Can we?
Well, so I was in some of his incoherencies. I picked up a couple of things. Poison's not gonna work because it's gonna be too slow. So we need to figure out a way to just. We need to make. We need to.
We need a what, Commander?
I'm sorry. We need to make life not habitable for them. Like we need to can kill them somehow. Like poison isn't gonna work because.
All right, then how about this? As the doctor, let's placate him a little bit. Do you think you two, maybe with the Tesora's help, you would be able to make it so the pregnancies don't happen? So this generation is the last generation, maybe the retrovirus or something.
Yeah, that's gonna be on them. If you wanted my advice, I'd honestly say we just find the infected areas and glass them. But
I don't think our host would appreciate that. Why, please continue.
Look,
the
just
medical
because we
side
have the
of
giant
things.
lance doesn't mean we have to use it all the time.
Continue to work on the medical side of things with them. I appreciate you working with them on the medical side of things, and
I just don't know what you expect me to achieve on the medical side of things, Cap.
I need you to lead them in a direction of not
You gotta hold them
keeping
together.
them as pets.
Okay.
Keep them on course, please.
Yes, Commander. Captain, sorry, Captain.
Demore out.
Oh, Tanjot, thank goodness, there you are.
Are you okay, Commander? You're very emotional. Lieutenant.
Is there... I apologize, and she takes a moment to compose herself. I merely meant to ask, are my quarters, is the doorway equipped with a kinetic barrier capability? If so, can you activate it?
I don't know. As a player, I don't. I'm sure
I think
Tanjot
it would be extremely overkill if it actually had that capability.
Like I somehow doubt it because you've got a bulkhead.
Yeah, I mean every door has a security screen
and-
projector
And
in case of.
actually, we find in Deep Space Nine that like all the rooms can have a containment field around the entire room because they turn it on so that way Odo can't get out.
Whatever I've got
So-
activated, please.
Yeah, I will activate your containment field. I look at you very confused, like.
I've just come down from where were we? Were we in engineering?
No, we were up in the like briefing room.
I've just come down from the briefing room where the captain is, and I could have sworn I heard a chirping.
Commander Tanjat to Captain. To the Captain.
Yes, Tanjat.
I think we might have a Tribble on board. Loose. Not the dead one that's in the med bay. Lieutenant Sasora claiming that she heard Tribbles, and honestly, I'd rather not discount it.
All right. Why don't you take Lieutenant Hald and Janor and try to seek this thing out?
I was gonna start on the bridge and see if maybe I can't pick up anything on the internal scanners first.
All right.
Wait, Ringy,
Well,
there's a panel on a wall right next to me, right? Because it's Starfleet ship.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do an internal scanner sweep.
Yeah, just run a sensor sweep. Look
Yeah.
through.
Yeah,
I was about to say that.
like I turn to the wall and I hit 2 buttons. That is probably what?
Insight security, probably. I'd say,
Inside
right?
security. So
No,
this
wait.
I think control,
control security?
Yeah, control
Yeah,
security.
security.
Control security. That's even better for me.
Supported
is-
by the ships.
So this is a 14 for me.
Nice.
2 successes.
Supported by the ship's sensor security, which is 13 or better. 10. So there's 3, and the difficulty would have been 2.
So,
We get momentum.
yay.
and I think the question he's
Yes, there is
needing to ask-
absolutely a Tribble.
We-
You know exactly where it is. You can like isolate its little Tribble life signs. Their Tribble life signs. I'm sorry, there's more than one Tribble. There are
Alright.
12,
I-
but they're all in one room.
I open the weapons locker. There's got to be one close.
Yeah, I mean you've got a Type 2 phaser on you.
Oh, on me?
Yeah.
Wait, the
Yeah.
Type 2, that's the tiny one, right?
No, that's the step up. It's still pistol, but it's not the tiny one. It's the good one.
Oh, okay. It's the Dustbuster.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna make you roll. You can go just walk over there and exterminate all of them.
I do just that.
Okay.
Actually, no. No, I do not.
Save a
Grab
living
them
one
and
for
take
the-
them. Yeah, grab 2. Keep 2 alive and take them to the doctor.
Okay.
Tanjat, what does the scan say, Tanjat?
So yeah, you walk in with 4 Tribbles in your arms.
Yeah. I proceed to plop them down, and I look at you 2 as I phase 2 more and bring the number back down to 2.
Where did you find these?
They're near the
They
bridge
were
room.
on the ship. I will continue doing.
Where
sensor
on the
sweeps.
ship?
Jeffrey's 247. I don't know.
Yeah, Jeffrey's tube. In the Jeffrey's tube. The aft port, lower levels Jeffrey's tube.
Section
You must
15.
understand. Under no circumstances can they get into my.
Why are you growing a field?
I just don't want blood everywhere.
What do you have in your quarters?
And can we just quickly cut to just a little kitty?
Mouser.
Mhm.
Professor Sniffles.
There we go. We'll just introduce house cats to the clan.
I open my mouth as if to speak, and I look over at the doctor, and I say, "All right, you have to find a way to do some kind of retrovirus. I don't know. I've heard you doctors pull weird shit off.
Like I
But
said, Commander,
you've got
I've been-
2 samples, and I proceed to phase the 2 more that have recently been born."
uh, put the ones alive on the biohazard container separately. We don't want them to overpopulate it. But don't worry. Like I said, I've been there and I've already treated those diseases, pests, and all over this.
And
I'm already working on a genofit.
I am actually. Can I make a command presence to just like terrify this doctor into like being willing to murder all of them?
Uh, this is more humane, Commander. Trust me. Look, he shows you to the screen and the.
No, no, no,
Look,
doctor.
allow me
Don't make me get the
just
squirt
explain.
bottle.
No, doctor. Your orders are to eradicate them.
I'm sorry. Like I said, if we do poison, that's not gonna work. We have to work on either genetic or viral
I
level.
don't care how you do it, doctor. Get it done. And then I walk out of the room. I'm gonna start doing. I'm just gonna keep doing continuous sensor sweeps.
Okay.
What?
Did I hear you say genophage?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
So
Oh, good, Genophage, you're on the right track. Here, I was thinking you were just trying to devise a giant cup and a piece of paper.
well, that was the first plan, but since the captain didn't like it, since well, let's face it, they're a little bit cute. I don't want to kill them, but okay, I'll just work on something that can do it. Like I was trying to explain to the commander, is just a virus that should be able to infect all of the tribal camp and only them, as well as not only making many of their newborn, stillborn, but also slowing the reproduction process. So effectively, well, like the commander asked, eradicating most of the species while keeping them on a containable level. It seems to be the medical ethical thing to do.
Oh no, genocide, like mass extinction.
Oh, don't worry, you would be extinctioning.
You just pop back in. No. Genocide.
Commander, get off my channel.
All right, Everoth. Control medicine, which is a 17.
Of course. Oh, I made trees. Sorry.
I don't really see a focus that applies. Oh,
Crap.
God damn it.
so the difficulty was 3, and you got
Medical
1,
research
2.
would that not-
You got 1.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ev, from now on, wait until
Yeah.
you hear the difficulty because you could have added stuff. Don't just go off the handle.
Sorry.
It's all right. So, yeah, there's no focus that deals with genetics here. So, difficulty 3. If you want to retroactively spend a momentum to roll an extra die, I'll let you this time. Tesora, you're there. Are you gonna support him on this?
Yes, I would like to support him by maybe picking at his idea. Although it does occur to me now that I think about it, these organisms must have extremely resilient biology. So if we were to develop a virus that they were resistant to, they would merely become the most effective carriers of such a disease that the galaxy has ever seen.
That's why you must make it very specifically designed to only target this little thing.
And you're doing that, right?
Of course. Why would I want to create a disease that could infect every single species on the galaxy? That would be unethical.
Yes, it would.
So,
Tanja walks back in, opens the
Jesus.
containment fields real quick, zaps them back down to a population of 2,
Actually,
and
you
walks back out.
You can just
you
leave that thing with me.
to do that because they don't have access to the food that makes them reproduce like crazy.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
They still reproduce quickly, but not as quickly as when they're eating. Daniel, roll 1 die. We're gonna do reason, science to pick apart his
Sure.
thing.
So for
And also, with regiment in mind, is that specifically for me, or does that affect? Oh, God damn it! Does that affect the roll at large?
Regimented mind. That was the one that you got earlier. That's for you, for
Yeah,
your next
That's
task.
just for me. Okay.
All right. So, yeah, Eversol, you are not able to pin down. Okay, so this is kind of an aside. This is not a lure or a plot hook here, but as you're tailoring this, you realize that there's human genetics spliced into the Tribble for some reason, and so it's really hard to make a disease that won't also affect humans,
Oh no.
and
I
so
think-
that's your failure.
Okay. And what about that 20?
Oh yeah.
Like,
You know what? Hold on.
specifically, or
Hold on. Computers, medicine, support, because the ship would absolutely help you. Oh, that's still only 2. Okay.
Didn't you spend 1 momentum so I could roll 1 more?
I did.
So could I roll 1 more?
Yes.
Come on.
Oh my god.
No!
All right, so now you're up to
Whoa.
4, so you get 1 momentum back. You do notice still as you were tailoring this that, yeah, there are specifically human genes for some reason in the Tribble, in all Tribbles, that either nobody's noticed before or nobody has commented on before. And you kind of shudder to think about how that could have possibly happened. But you are able to tailor a genophage that makes infected Tribbles sterile.
As he finishes, he speaks in common. I got it. Yet I found something that is both fascinating and the implications are terrifying, Captain.
We'll learn about them. We'll discuss them later. But you have a disease?
I have a disease that will be able to hold them into a sustainable population by killing their newborn, like you requested.
all of them.
It will be more than enough. It will be
I-
1 in 1 million.
Doctor.
Commander. Captain. It will be 1 in 1 million. It will be more than enough to.
Doctor, the ones that are still around will be alive and live out their natural little lives.
Yes.
That is what we're doing. I do not want any more of them born on this planet. I understood.
Captain.
I understood, Doctor.
Can I apply determination over there is nothing I wouldn't do to save a life?
Yeah, actually, this is gonna challenge.
Because I have the universe doesn't need to like you as a thing if you want to bring up a value thing to.
Well, it's more challenging it, right? So what he's doing is he's challenging his value. I'm gonna read the paragraph right out of the book here. Once during a mission, if a character has a value which could affect a task or situation negatively, I think Eversoul's does here, they may challenge that value. The character immediately gains a point of determination. That means you have 2 points of determination. I can just zoop. Oh, you already got it. All right, great. And then crosses out the challenged value, meaning it cannot be used again for the remainder of this mission.
I'm just gonna put an X here.
At the end of the mission, the character may alter the value to reflect the change to the character's beliefs or replace it with a new value that represents some other aspect of the character's beliefs. So you can challenge it, but you do have to change it.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Okay. Great. So we're just with a little check mark next to that. Zoop.
Uh huh.
Oh. Apparently I can't put a check mark there.
And we all have one determination. Correct?
You all start with 1.
Okay.
Ever now has 2, and then Ever, if you, well, I guess you're not doing a thing right now. But you are standing by your moral conviction. So I would just say continue to roleplay this out.
He will first of all provide the solution to the captain and say, "Captain, under my oath to my medical degree and the Federation, I joined this mission in order to do what is ethically possible to save a life, regardless of what it is. Even if this is a pest, it is the serving of life. This genophage will successfully and efficiently diminish its life damage into any sort of population up to the point where it is sustainable. I refuse to alter it any further than 1 in a million. This will be genetically adapted by this creature positively. I made sure to alter it as it should. I am currently right now, and in order to show you, infecting these 2 tribbles, and I will release the genophage on those 2.
They do not want this on their planet, Doctor. I will give you this as an option. Everything on that planet has to be 100% sterile. If you, as a pet project, want to have it so your little critters that only produce 1 out of like 1,000,000 or 1,000,000,000, like you said, that is yours to do with what you want. If it is on that planet, it must be sterile. If you want to create another source on another planetoid we fly by sometime with your modified genetics, that is fine. Planet must be clear. Is that acceptable?
That is acceptable, Captain.
Make it happen.
Acknowledge. And he will get to work. Making sure that the life on the planet is completely sterile and they can quell it whenever they want. And he's going to keep those 2.
Be
Just-
Tribble life on the planet, not all life on the planet. Please.
Yeah, the tribal life on the planet.
And then I'm going to look over. Sorry. We need to create also a deployment. The 2 engineering people on duty. But
Oh,
yeah.
that's easy enough. I think this is a good spot for an intermission.
Okay.
Because I don't know, that might hurt beating a little bit. Like that was really good, you guys. All right, so we're gonna take a quick break and come back in 5 minutes. Just try and keep our 5-minute break to less than 10 minutes. This is Star Trek Pathfinder on the Cobalt Cafe.
Three, two, 1, 0.
Okay, yeah, we're back. All right, so the Tribble genophage, please don't sue us, EA, has been created and successfully deployed on the planet just by beaming the 2 infected Tribbles down. So, I mean, it will take months, for sure, but
Unless we want to make a aerosol version of it and drop it on the planet, which I'm inclined to do.
I still think we could deploy it into the grain.
Aerosol will be good. We could always deploy it over the grain. That will
Well, like I
hit all
said,
of the
we
tribbles.
could make an aerosol, put a cup, take the casings out, have a couple photon torpedoes, and just detonate them above middle atmosphere.
What do I need to roll to prepare it as an aerosol, or can I just do it normally?
I mean, yeah, I'm sure there's something in like the computer specifications for the replicator of a high altitude aerial deployment of yeah. So it's been done before. All you need to do is load the stuff on.
Do we need a roll for that, or does that just do non-roll?
I really don't think you need to roll.
Okay.
You have infected the tribbles of Europe 3 with a virus that will slow or stop their reproductive cycle.
Yeah.
Is that going to still? Will that? I mean, we're still trying to get grain shipments secured, right?
I mean, they've been eaten, so I assume once.
Oh, so we missed this crop. Like, basically, you're gonna have to have a year where they cycle back, and we'll just get it next.
Yeah.
A season, probably.
Unless they have some in reserve or something that they can sell to us because of how nice we were to solve their problem. But yeah.
And there's no nasty side effects to this virus we've released.
Hopefully not.
Looks clear.
Well,
Except for that
okay.
20.
Did that 20 still stick?
Oh yeah, he did roll a complication, didn't he?
And well, I mean, I thought the complication you said was that this thing. So basically, as long as there's tribbles on this planet, we need to keep humans away.
Oh
Am I wrong?
no! That was the failure.
Oh, okay.
That was the failure.
What's the complication then?
So the complication is the fact that it doesn't have an effect on the living tribbles. So the ones that are out there now are still alive. They just the reproductive cycle stops.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So, I will call up. Okay, was it?
KO.
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 Okay.
So he shows up on the screen. There's like 6 tribbles in the background.
We have made a virus that will make their reproductive cycle of the tribbles not a thing anymore. So, with your permission, we would like to launch several torpedoes over the continent or the area that's infected, and let that spread to the tribbles.
He's like, excellent. I'll upload coordinates now. And after a moment, sort of one of those maps of the planet that stretches it out into a flat projection with the light and dark zones, like for night and day, throws up on the screen. And across the surface of the planet, like there are 5 different spots with triples, like individual little
Hot
pockets.
zones.
Yeah, hot zones.
All right. Shoot. Just immediately.
Yeah, I mean you don't even really need to
just
roll
type in
because these are gonna
codes.
blow it in the atmosphere.
Yeah, like mid-atmosphere, so they have time. Yeah, but enough so they can spread.
Yeah.
And just pew, 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 pew.
All right.
They unfortunately it will not kill the ones that are already there, but it should slow down their appetite as they don't need to gather the nutrition to, breed.
He kind of sighs heavily and turns around and like he holds up a Romulan disruptor pistol and he shoots 2 of the 10 tribbles that are sitting behind him. And he turns back around. He's like, "We've gotten pretty good at killing them, so I imagine if they're not continuing to reproduce, we can catch up the rest. I hope they make good fertilizer."
I mean, at the very least, you'll have fur.
And meat.
I look and say, maybe you have another export for the next bit.
We tried that. They don't taste very good.
The fur is
Shame.
soft. I kind of just give another. Try to be diplomatic at it, and go. I assume our crop has been fully eaten, correct?
It's in the high 70s% of the crop has been, or the crops, because obviously this is grown in those 5 separate regions. Um, but yeah, it's upwards of 70% of the crop that has been consumed at this point.
Well, if there's any way you can get at least some of that shipment to us, it'd be appreciated. But if you need that for your people, by all means, just delay.
There are other crops, that we only use domestically. Panganan is one of a handful that we grow for off-world consumption, like as a product.
Well, as soon as it's viable, we would appreciate the shipments to resume.
Don't worry, we won't sell them to the other interested parties. Like, you will get them when the next season comes. We will honor our commitment, even though obviously we're going to be hurting for a little while.
Well, do what you need to do. I don't want to make your people hurt in any way. If it needs to be half shipments while you recoup your profits or things like that, know that the Federation will be willing to work with you. We have dealt with these creatures before.
He kind of leans forward a little bit. He's like, yeah, on that subject, you say that you've dealt with these before. We would like to know how they got onto our planet so that we could, hopefully shield against it in the future.
Well, we will give you the virus to have if this ever happens again.
Sorry,
But-
I don't think that's a medical thing.
what?
I think he was asking us to look into how the Tribbles got there.
Oh yeah, but as a shield, as they got here, we could investigate it if you would like.
The prime minister, whatever the leader of their planet is called, would take it as a personal favor if you could look into it.
Of course. Just we will communicate with. Is it him or her? Or him or her in the future?
It's her.
Her. All right. We will speak with her and. But any leads? Do you have any leads? Where did the first infection start, or is it in all 5 points?
As near as we can tell, it started almost simultaneously in these 5 locations.
That's not a coincidence. All right. If we could have access to your your sensor logs during the time period a few months before and during that period, so we can track any comings and goings of the ships, that would be greatly helpful.
Yeah, whatever you need, he'll work with some member of your crew to set up like a link into their defense networks sensor logs.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And he goes and
On.
there's like 20 Tribbles behind him, and he just kind of stumbles out of the room, doesn't even bother turning the view screen off.
I will disconnect. And I look at
Ooh, computers,
Tanjot.
I'm good at that.
Tanjot and say, it seems we have a mystery on our hands, Commander.
It would seem so.
We need someone to go through this data and also someone to go planet side. Which would you prefer to lead that lead?
I'll go planet side.
All right, pick your team.
I want Tesora.
Sounds good to me.
Tanjot and Tesora are going to the planet, which leaves Vivek, the captain, and Eversoul on the ship.
I believe so.
Okay.
And then, can I grab a couple of, like, I got that one investigator security guy, right?
Yes, his name is Dror, the Orion.
Drawer. I'll take him.
Okay.
Also, Ensign Alara is a life science officer. She might be useful during this.
Yes. I will take her as well.
Okie
And
doke.
I'll
Get on
analyze the
the-
records.
I'll get on the comms and tell everybody to meet me at Transporter Bay 2.
Okay, Ensign Alara is a Ryzen female. Pretty and not a lot of personal boundaries. And then Lieutenant Gerard
Anybody got the statue?
is-
Anybody got the statue?
is a male Orion. And then I haven't really come up with like sort of the character like inspiration for them. I mean, we can kind of figure this out as we go, but
Yeah.
Well, also, yeah, if you can put down just the adjectives you just used, so inspiration can be a different column than just like the descriptor.
okay.
Anyway,
In the meantime, while they're getting ready to transport down, I would like to have Vivek go through those logs. And actually, no, I'm gonna go through those logs. If Vivek wants to help, he can, but I actually am an investigator. This is kind of my thing.
Okay. So Vivek, Eversoul, and Demora. Let's start with you guys. So you are sorting through all of the sensor data?
Yeah, looking for specifically people that may have traveled to those during the times. Looking for correlations between the 5 spots and the ships that were in the area at the time.
Okay.
Or with plus or minus, like a week or so, because they might have transported down with one and dropped it. They might have transported directly,
Yeah. Let's do. I feel like that's control science with a focus on investigation.
This wouldn't be okay, yeah, control science, focus investigation.
Yep. So
Can I assist her?
yeah. Oh yes. How are you assisting?
Hi, Kat.
I'm also assisting.
Captain, I believe with this that I might serve your efforts.
Well, I think before we get going, how are you assisting? As in, like,
I
how are you actually helping?
I was trying to synchronize my data gathered from the Tribble to see if it can gather any clues with what they eat, with what they require to live, with what they require to exist, since they are so slow, and it would be able to help them pinpoint the correct information.
Yeah, that's fair. Then that would be control medicine with
And
alien medical
then-
research. So that's one die at 17 or better for Eversoul.
And I'm gonna help.
All right, Tom, how are you
also,
helping?
Are you sure it wouldn't be security for this? Because this investigation is kind of like, private eye, kind of.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Yeah. All right. So reason security.
And my last question before Tom dictates how he's doing to help is, does my regimented mind would it help with this because of the last time I used it, or is that just kind of gone now that we're done trying to contain them?
Yeah, since you figured out how to contain them and you only made that one roll, it won't really help with this. This is very
That's
separate.
absolutely fine. I just wanted to check.
Yeah. All right. So Tom, how are you assisting?
I'm just going through all the sensor logs and computer stuff. Try to just finding out all the. I'm making the computers work more efficiently so we can you know do this research.
Okay.
I was wondering if would my computer expertise work on this?
Are you talking about the computer's focus you have? Oh, computer expertise.
No, computer expertise.
If the task involves the programming or study of computers, add a bonus d20. It would if you were the one rolling and not assisting.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so it's 1 die at control and engineering, which of course you're really great at. 17 or better, focus on computers, double success on 5.
Cool.
And so, and what's the challenge rating on this?
There's a lot of data. We're gonna say it's 3, and then the
Right,
ship is
then-
also going to. Tom.
Can
Tom's
I?
is-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my
Also,
reroll on that.
I haven't rolled yet.
Yeah.
But, I would like to. We have 2 successes now.
I'm roll mine.
You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna burn a moment. Oh, I guess we don't even need to because I think we have already
That's
done it. So.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna roll my 2, but we're supposed to talk while we're doing this.
Mhm.
Oh my gods.
Do we have a complication?
Not only that, but I don't think she succeeds.
Oh no.
Because I didn't get a success, no one can assist.
Well, they can assist, but yeah, no things count unless.
This is a really loose justification, but can I use my suspicious nature in this? It's to detect hidden enemies.
No, I feel like you're gonna have to use determination.
Yeah, I think I'm going to re-roll.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that. That was a horrible roll. How do you do that?
I am looking right now. I think it's in that handout that I closed for some reason. Okay. All right, here we go. Using values. Point of determination may be spent to grant the character a single bonus d20. Differs from most in that it is considered to have already rolled a 1, but you have to do that ahead of time.
Oh, so I can't do it post.
Well, that's one of the options. The
Yeah.
other one is a point of determination may be spent to re-roll all of the characters' dice in their dice pool. And
There
I
you
think
go.
That's what you're looking.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the one.
that's what I want.
That would be great.
All right, don't screw me over again.
What value is this?
There we go. I succeeded. It was a control security.
No, what value are you using? I think was the question.
Oh yeah, which of the values are you using for this?
Cover yourself. You'll think you cover yourself.
It can
You'll
save
think-
your
you'll
life.
think it can save your life.
Oh.
Or question. No, question everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think question everything seems to make more sense. Okay.
But that was a one success for me.
1 success. Well, that's enough.
No, 2 successes because it was security. 2 successes.
Control 4, security 5. Oh, the 5 was double. Yeah, you're right.
Because it's an investigation focus.
Okay.
So that is a total of how many did we get? So I got 1. Ever got 1. The computer got 1, and Vivek got 1. Oh, Ever got 2.
Yeah. So you got 2 points of momentum. And you narrow it down to like one particular shuttle that visited all 5 within the criteria, all 5 locations.
I would like to burn sorry.
No, go ahead.
I would like to burn a momentum to find out exactly where that ship came from and or what life forms were on board.
Yep. Oop. You have to ask me a question.
What ship did that come from?
It was the Homai. You don't have a whole lot of information on it. It's owned by some entity called the Rapu Corporation, but it's an Orion ship. It's what you would expect. What is colloquially called a pleasure barge.
Okay. And can I burn another one or just?
Yeah, sure. You can keep spending momentum as long as you've got it.
I would like one more momentum. What life signs were on board the ship that it came from?
The sensors don't have that.
Okay, then just that one question.
Alrighty. Okay, so that's your. All right, so let's go to the ground team.
And we relay this information to them.
Although technically we did forget to do something with all the hustle and bustle of rolling.
What's that?
Our fluff.
Oh yeah, do that. Do that.
All right. As we're working and the ship's compiling the data, I'm going to look at you again there. Not Ton, God damn,
Vivek, yeah.
and say, all right, Commander, while this is compiling, how has the engineering been treating you?
Small talk. Okay, yeah. It's been all right. The ship had a few mothballs from being dry docked for a while, but it's been pretty good. We got the team starting to work pretty good together, and after we did that, our last mission, we're starting to feel the ship out. Well, eventually we have to try out this nice little lance it's got, but see how the engine, see how everything holds up. But
and there's no concerns about it actually being a custom-made, non-tested ship. Nothing suspicious so far.
That's so far. That's half the fun of the ship. It's got a little couple of quirks, but I'm starting to learn it at the back of my hand. My ship.
Very good, very good. How about you, Doctor?
It's been good. I've just been trying to keep busy at my office. I just had a little bit of trouble getting away from it. Not sure if you would know that feeling, Captain.
I'm a captain of a starship. I know that trouble.
She's always
Doctor.
in the office.
My wife had problems. Got used to me working in the intelligence office for the past few years. She is not very happy about my current workload.
Best of wishes, Captain. Hope you can get some time together soon. At least once all this operations is over.
I believe she will demand it eventually. So, and she's allowed to take away. She's allowed to take away my command. So that's fun. I kind of just look and then, do you guys, doctor, she can pull me because she's also a doctor.
I see.
But I'll kind of, and then
Doctor,
the thing
doctor.
beeps, and we, find that information.
Okay. Ground team, what are you looking for?
Yes, what are we looking for, Tanjat?
Yeah, I actually am not sure. What did you want me looking for?
Oh, at the sites themselves, like
Oh,
I will get because the can as you guys are doing scanning or something, I can beep you and tell you about the information we found. But it just would be good to be able to go to those locations and
yeah. I guess we go to those locations and do some scanning.
We're investigating.
Were there any like actual formal points of delivery for this thing to land at, or do we think that it's possible that like they could have just shot missiles of tribbles onto the
I I
Actually,
honestly have no idea. Like, I figure if there's anything unusual, we'll find them in some local scans.
Well, I just mean like Colin, are there ports of call that they actually landed formally and like exchanged crates, or like are these 5 spots in totally rural like Nowheresville?
these are actually sort of like the transfer areas for Panganan specifically. So if you were going to negotiate for trade of Panganan, or load it, or even just visit farmers, these are the closest places to like land a shuttle.
Okay.
all right.
Yeah.
So
Let's go to one and go take some readings.
also you can ask around. I was just giving you role play opportunity on planet surface. Is what it came down.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we just go to one of those locations and we wander around and start scanning for now, and maybe we'll run into some locals.
Is it
There are
possible that one of
tribbles
these
everywhere.
people... Oh. Is it possible that
I-
one of these people accepting the shipments might have looked the other way?
I'm not sure. Let's go take a look around. I don't know what we're looking for, but I feel like if we find it, we'll know it.
Yeah, okay. So you wander around. There are people everywhere that are murdering tribbles. I mean, some are doing it with blasters. Some are clubbing them. There's a couple of guys that look like military that are sort of rolling through with space pickup truck and using a pitchfork to just toss all of the dead tribbles in the back of the truck.
Oh jeez.
Uh, I'll approach them. Maybe.
Who are you approaching?
Let's talk to the. You said there was some military guys.
Yeah, they're in military. There's like two of them plus two more in the vehicle.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go
Alright.
up to them.
He gives you what you can only assume is a traditional Euripian greeting. With some sort of a weird salute involving his fist in his forehead. I don't know, but he identifies
He
him.
does the loser symbol.
He identifies himself as I don't think he's going to use a rank. Tureen. He's a local militia, like self-defense force style member that were called up to deal with the infestation.
Well, I'm Commander Tanjat, Starfleet.
Nice to meet you. I heard that we have you to thank for their lower birth rates. That's been a huge help.
Yeah, should give you a really good opportunity to completely eliminate the problem.
Completely.
You hear like fire in a hole, and there's an explosion somewhere nearby, and like there's little tribbles flying through the air.
Little triple bits.
Have you tried fire?
Yes, but we don't want to burn the crops. Like that's all this region does. Like we are Penguin farmers. You know,
Okay.
like that's the only reason to be in this area.
So, so how could these things have gotten here? Like,
That's actually the source of some confusion. Um, we don't take deliveries here. When a shuttle lands, they're picking stuff up. and it's not like we wouldn't have noticed an animal coming off of a shuttle. So we're not entirely sure how a pest like this could have shown up.
Any possible like random meteor strikes or anything like that?
I haven't
What's
heard
your
anything. I suppose we could check like the self defense force logs, but I don't
You could
I
ask
don't think
about the
so.
Orion shuttle.
wait? What Orion shuttle?
We haven't told them yet, because how long did that whole
Oh yeah.
scanning thing take?
Oh yeah, hours.
Yeah, so they
Yeah.
don't know that yet. They've been planning
Okay.
for a couple minutes.
10 minutes, more than a couple. But yeah, well, so what's security around here like? Are you just local militia? So
Yeah, I mean, every once in a while we have to deal with theft, occasionally a murder, but nothing like terrorism or hardly anything dealing with people from off world.
okay, so and I mean no offense when I say this, but like if experienced professionals were to like want to land a shuttle nearby, like what would be the likelihood of someone pulling something like that off?
There's millions of miles or I'm sorry, millions of square kilometers of fields. I feel like landing a shuttle would not be too hard um, to do unnoticed if you wanted to.
Are there other planets nearby that are also in the Panangan trade?
He gets a little proud at this. He's like, Europe 3 is the only place that has ever been able to grow panganan. That includes, artificial and hydroponic growing. For whatever reason, it's just the exact mineral content of our soil, the length of day of our, and the brightness of our sun, that even when exactly replicated for whatever reason, panganan doesn't want to grow anywhere but here.
So what market do you wind up threatening then?
He's like, well, I mean, any planet that deals with agriculture has a inferior product right off the bat. That said, I mean, we can't grow enough of it to destabilize, intergalactic food markets. So I don't feel like we pose a threat to anybody.
But you don't potentially pose a threat to like one farm somewhere?
Europe 2, Europe 1.
No, no, we're the only inhabited planet in the Europe system, and I mean, we might have rivals, but definitely, nothing beyond a spirit of healthy competition.
Well, that crosses out that
How
theory.
sure of that are you?
He kind of shrugs. He's like, I don't know. I've never been off the planet. You just hear things.
Okay. Uh, any disgruntled workers?
Um, no.
No?
I
How,
mean,
how many rival sports teams
if you
suffered a recent humiliation?
if you live in this area, Panganin's what you do. Even if one farm fires somebody, these things, and he kind of kicks one of the tribbles at his feet. He's like, these affect everybody. Everybody's fields have been decimated.
Oh, yeah, but one angry drunkard doesn't necessarily think things through.
Where would he have gotten something like this?
I mean, I'm
You
just
don't have to try very hard to get them. Let me tell you.
It's like, well, none of us had ever seen or heard about him before until you guys showed up.
well, yeah, but this is a market. Somebody could have been. I mean, they're not very big. Like, be easy to get them off a shuttle unnoticed.
Yeah, probably.
Like, uh, where Where was kind of the epicenter of where the whole epidemic started within these fields? Probably in the consumed radius, the center of that.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to tell because they just kind of showed up one day and there were already too many of them for us to be able to handle.
Where did they show up?
Well, in this area, and he just kind of, he gestures vaguely to this big dark spot in the rolling green hills. He's like, somewhere in that, plot. But they
Okay.
also,
Yeah. Tesora, do you and I want to take a walk over there and see what's up, and maybe we can let our investigator do more investigating?
Very well. We'll go take a look at Ground Zero.
Are we playing them, or are you playing them there, Ringy?
oh no, you guys play the supporting characters.
I'll take Alaria.
Okay. Let me pop that character sheet into Discord so you can grab her.
And there's one more. There's the Orion.
Yeah. Ever or Tom, do either of you want to? No?
Join the ground or
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
There's two NPCs.
there's this support security. Lieutenant Gerard is like an investigator.
I can try Gerard if you want.
Okay.
I mean,
Is
you don't
there-
necessarily have to.
Okay.
I think everything that
just-
needs to be
do,
done
do they keep
remotely.
do they keep surveillance footage on the center, on like the trade outpost where the ships are?
Well, I mean, there's like the sensor logs, but I don't think there's like cameras that watch all the pads where people load the Panganan. It's like basically a giant grain silo.
Well, okay. How about can we have them take a look at like the schedules of the people who worked there and like give each of the, because it happened overnight. So how many workers were stationed, to actually oversee that?
I mean, you can get a list of everybody who was working when it happened, but it was closed. It's not like there's constant shuttle traffic.
It was closed.
Yeah, it was overnight. It's not a 24-hour port. It's a business.
Well, then
Uh,
who they should figure out who has the.
Do they have a 24-hour day somehow?
24 hours,
Nobody-
37 minutes.
I just mean like who would be able to open shop when there is normally closed hours.
Okay, so this is basically like 4 shuttle pads and like grain holding equipment.
Commander. I have an
Yes.
idea. I could easily take my the path of them where they have been eating and create a reverse, like work inwards to get their exact point of starting, so we can actually see if it was at the paths or someplace nearby.
That's great. Why don't you and Tesora get on that? Because I realize I'm gonna be no help.
Yes, sir. She'll, uh, Lieutenant, should I do it, or should you do it, or who should do it?
I think I should do it. But well, let me think.
I put you together to work together.
I mean,
Yeah,
who's gonna take,
she does. You leave, and she gives you a glare.
of the ultimate there.
Oh yeah,
As if you say, I will do the scan, and she's gonna like walk up behind you and like look over your shoulder while you're doing it and like be making physical contact with you while she's doing it.
I'm working.
She's like, I'm just double. I was just looking to see what you were. I mean, I can scan too. She'll take a step back and pull out her tricorder and support Tesora that way.
Yeah, that's fine with me. I think the difference is going to be that like I said, Tesora does not have medicine. So I think what makes this even more frustrating is that there are times when she's getting things wrong because she's approaching this like a math problem, and there are actually times when like Alaria is like correcting her algorithms because these things aren't robots.
Yeah, well, and also that was I think the little fluff scene for the support
Yes.
for you.
Yeah. Okay. So Tesora's making the main role.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm using reason and science. Or is this insight almost? I mean,
Insight is sort of like a psychological thing.
okay.
So I think reason and science supported by Alara's also reason science.
Science, and what would this be? Biology.
Yeah. So Alaria gets a success on a 4 or better, or double success on a 4 or better.
Yeah.
Okay. And I want. So I wanna tap determination to use a value here,
Okay.
and the value is a thing must here. Hold on. A thing
Also,
must be
what's-
seen, touched, and experienced before it is ever truly known.
That's great.
And yeah, and so as she's kind of closing in the circles, they're walking closer and closer. So she's seeing it with her own eyes each time, like correcting the formula.
What's the challenge rating?
I think just 2.
And
So
what
wait,
I'm gonna
yeah,
do,
what are you doing with your
yeah,
determination?
With this value, let me actually see. What I This is the perfect opportunity. A single counts as rolling a 1. I could do that, or may immediately perform another task as soon as this one is resolved, or the character immediately creates an advantage that applies to the current scene.
Ooh, advantage.
What do you think an advantage would be?
Oh, to help the actual investigation afterwards,
Um,
so we can get our security people on it. Actually,
Well, I mean, you can even just say that the role is to create the advantage.
oh yeah, that'd be good. And if
Okay.
you wanted, you could make it automatically roll a 1. We could have a success, and then anything past that we roll will just add to the moments pool. That would be really helpful.
Yeah, because I can use momentum to obtain information, right?
Yes.
So I'm actually, yeah, so I'm going to just beef up this roll as much as possible
Okay.
so that I can ask many questions.
Okay, so you're gonna roll an additional d20 that automatically rolls a 1 to give you 2 successes,
Right.
plus the 2 that you roll and the 1 that Alara rolls.
Yes.
All right.
I failed, but
Yes.
there was successes.
All right. So.
Oh wow! So that was. Oh wow!
That was 3 momentum.
Just from that roll, plus the additional 1, so 2 more momentum.
Right, but that's what you needed to succeed on the roll. So it's only above success that you generate momentum. So you gain 3 momentum, and you do have down to maybe within a kilometer, the exact location of the start of the Tribble phase.
Okay. So I generated a bunch of momentum based.
Yeah, you generated 3 momentum, and there was already
Okay.
2. I had to dump 1 because we went to a new scene, but you have 5 in there now.
Okay. Did I create an advantage?
I think we were going for the the momentum so you could ask questions.
Okay, so I can start spending momentum to ask true questions.
I mean, the difficulty of the task was to find the location. So,
Okay.
yeah, so you could spend 2 momentum to create an advantage, or you can spend 1 momentum and obtain information. And
I
both
mean-
of those you can do
Yeah.
multiple times.
Okay, so I'm gonna spend 1 to obtain information,
Okay?
and the information I'm going to ask is there anything here that is not as it seems? I mean,
no.
so it okay. It looks like, as far as I know, it still looks like a Tribble was basically dropped on the planet and allowed to do its thing.
Yes, that's what it looks like.
Let's use the plus 2 to make an advantage and let the investigators do the rest.
So I get to the epicenter of this thing. Does environmentally, do I observe anything different? Are there like ship, when a ship lands, it has those little, like a ramp or feet? It does. I guess I can I even see through the tribbles here, like at the Earth?
Actually, there's not tribbles here because everything's been eaten.
Oh, okay,
But
They moved on to where the food is now.
yeah.
right.
But as far as that is, that would be a separate roll.
Okay. So I guess, yeah, I'll do 2 momentum to create an advantage.
Okay. What's the advantage?
And the advantage is going to be, can I know the exact time that it happened?
Well, I think that's a question. The advantage would be something like exact location or something like that.
Following the trail. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like a trait.
Okay. So let me think.
I mean, following the trail's good.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So then investigators. Did anybody decide to take on Dror?
I think Ever did.
I'll take him.
Okay.
And we also have the commander, who is our security guy.
Yeah, I think insight, reason, or control plus security or con.
And I want to tag unconventional warfare.
That's a focus.
Oh, what's that? What's the differences again?
So, so focuses are, if they apply to your role, it means that instead of a double success on just a 1, it's a double success on your discipline value or lower. Command, con, security, engineering, science, and medicine. The values
Okay.
are like the things that you
can
use
tag.
to spend your 1 determination that you start with.
Oh,
Or you
okay.
challenge them to make the mission harder to gain more determination.
Oh, okay. Okay, so unconventional warfare, like it would just be focus would mean.
So if you were, say, rolling, what do you?
I mean, what I'm thinking is like
Insight.
people did this. This was a tactical strike, and it was a very unconventional one.
So that'd probably be insight security, right, Colin?
Well, what's the roll for?
Well, what I wanted, like, basically, I just want to go start talking to like the mayor and like just start asking questions. You know, who would want to do this? That kind of stuff.
Okay. Then that's going to be, I guess, presence and command.
So this is against a 15.
Dror, do you want to support him? Difficulty would be 2, but it's only a 1 since we have the advantage that makes it 1 easier.
there's 2 successes.
I'm not hearing anything from Everoth, so I think that we're just gonna roll with it. So here's your 1 momentum. The mayor said that like really the only upset party was a different group had tried to purchase the Panganan that the Federation eventually ended up with. So I mean,
really?
it wasn't, he didn't seem super upset about it, but obviously there were some ill feelings. They just couldn't come up with the financing in time, and the Federation always has, well, not money, but
Resources.
yeah.
Okay. I will actually. I want to get more information on the who was pissed off.
Oh, I don't know. This mousy little Ferengi, I don't remember his name.
Well, I'm not sure I wouldn't put this past a Ferengi.
He didn't work for a Ferengi company, though. The company he worked with was from Orion. I don't remember what it was.
Jacques.
Okay.
I
I
mean,
think that might have actually been very helpful. Thank you very much.
all right. Gonna do anything else on
And
the
I will
planet or scene
radio
change?
that in. I will radio that in like immediately.
So yeah, you guys get both pieces of information at approximately the same time.
Hey, you're not gonna believe it, but I got something about Orion.
So do
We-
we.
We just got something of that too. Do you have a lead? Because all we have is a ship that's no longer here.
Well, he used the term mousy little Ferengi.
Hmm.
And I mean Ferengi, so I don't believe in coincidence. Especially when the Ferengi.
Nor do I. Would it be a completely different investigate to find out what the company is that ship was registered to, or?
Yes, and probably a scene change.
All right. Good job, Commander. Beam up, and we'll get investigating further on this.
Alright. This is Commander Tanjat, 4 to beam up.
Pew.
We can also let our contact know, get some help from the local government.
I mean, that's above my paycheck.
We'll contact them once we know absolute more. I'd like to dig further first.
Air quotes, paycheck. None of us
You-
get
you
paid.
got a paycheck?
Shit.
All right. So
All right.
scene change. We lose a moment.
Yes, you lose 1 momentum.
I assume I'm beamed up too.
Everybody beams up.
Okay.
No, we're just gonna leave you the Vulcan on the planet.
I think now is a good time for maybe a joint conversation about your next steps in the conference
To the
room.
briefing room.
But before the briefing room, the ensign is going to, not without even thinking about it, give Tesora a hug and go, "It was really nice working with you. I look forward to working with you again in the future." And hold on way too long for a hug, and then kind of walk off.
As my duty demands.
Okay. So yeah, everybody is sitting in the briefing room, and on the screen is all the information in the ship's computer about the Rapu corporation or consortium.
Oh, it's the Rapu Consortium. Okay, so we did get a name.
Yeah.
And then I said, Rapu!
All right, let's take a look here. Sorry.
Not Rapu. I love you, Rapu.
Okay, it's a moderately sized regional entity. They are chartered out of the Orion system. But they actually Starfleet intelligence indicates that they actually think that they have strong ties to the Breen.
Oh, really?
Oh, great.
And that's about all that's known. This ship specifically, the Homai, Homai, it's frequently seen in this area. It's sort of like, I think it's assumed that it's the regional like base of the Rapu Consortium. Uh,
Like,
Orion.
I assume that even now the Breen are still like gonna whoop our ass.
They're little assholes.
If I throw that here, can you guys see it? Can you guys click on that?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay,
I'm
good.
not sure I'm
Yeah.
utilizing my
I don't
wireless
see
headset.
anything.
You gotta click it in the chat.
So I mean, it's big. It's bigger than your ship by a size band. Um, the Orions don't make a lot of these, but think of it like a cruise ship, right? So it takes on passengers. It travels around. But instead of just being full of families, um, if you're gonna go see some sort of blood sport, you got to find one of these barges. Um,
Okay.
shuttle races or any kind of gambling, Starfleet equivalent of strip clubs. Like these are mobile red light districts that sort of float around. They are generally not at all welcome in Federation space, but they have free reign of the rest of the galaxy.
All right. Is it in system now?
It is not in the system currently.
But it makes regular stops here.
It had just made the one stop to try and purchase the Panganan, and nobody's seen it in a couple of months.
Okay.
Well, I reckon if there were a place to obtain a Tribble, that would probably be it.
I
Well,
mean, seriously, I wouldn't put it against them to have dropped a Ferengi onto this planet just as a fuck you.
At the very least, we need to just find this ship so we can question the ship and or the Ferengi that is involved. Because you said this whole ship is owned by that corporation, right?
Correct.
We do need to find this ship. It is our one lead, and who knows what other havoc it could be getting into. What are weapons on these things?
It varies. But generally they're not known to have weapons.
Well, they have a transporter and they have tribbles, so I count that.
Captain?
We have shields. They cannot transport through shields. So calm down, Tesora.
Isn't that a little bit strange?
What do you mean?
Well, if the Tribble was used as an effort of spiting the planet members, still, what would be any other reason of that kind of ship to host Tribbles?
It's not. It's. If the Breen are involved, we have no idea what they're up to. I mean, the Breen have always been mysterious and even when I was working with them, or the brief moments that I ended up working with them, I still could never understand them.
That you hear like audible growl.
Hmm.
A quick glare.
I can't imagine it would be too hard to make that ship show itself.
Do we have any signals that we can trace?
Well, we could have them. We could leverage our new friends here on planet and have them contact them to say there is a small shipment available now that the Federation's crops have been ruined, or we could go seek them out ourselves. It depends on the tactic we wish to take.
Other people are seeking this ship out for commerce. I imagine it would be a dramatic hit to their business if it were to become public knowledge that their ship is carrying aboard a pest like a.
Hmm. We don't want to do anything unfounded though, because we don't know what kind of retaliation can come of that.
For now, we just want to lure them. No need to
Yep.
anger them quite yet.
I
Seems to
mean,
be the most
honestly,
efficient.
I'd rather fight from a defensive, from an entrenched position, as it were. If we bring them to us, we have a slight tactical advantage.
If that's the case, then we should probably liaise with the planet to draw them out for us.
If that would be possible, then do you believe a ground uh, interception with these fellows would be the best idea, or
Oh
should we
no, if
keep
we're going to
our
be
attention?
ship.
Okay, ship and ship.
I no offense, but I do not want to go up against Breen supported syndicate members. Are they also attached to the Orion Syndicate at all, or just the Orion?
Well, the ship is Orion, and the company is like chartered in Orion. But that's also kind of a common, almost like a tax dodge. You know how oil tankers will be flagged in, somewhere like Colombia or wherever. Um, but the ship is Orion. So I don't know. There are two pieces of evidence definitely indicating that the Orions are involved.
All right, and indications that the Orion Syndicate might be involved, and that is also bad news. So, Breen weapons with maybe Orion Syndicate. I do not want to be in a close combat with them. Our ship is tactically better than theirs, and we would have the advantage there. Whereas on the ground, we would risk our people dying.
Uh, Ringy, is there a way we could hide?
The ship?
Yeah, is there
Yeah,
any moons or
like
anything?
on the other side of the moon or something like that.
There's no moon, but I mean, there's the gas giant in the inner planets.
Oh,
You'd have to be a little bit a ways away, but yeah, you could definitely hide your ship.
How do we feel about a prank?
I raise an eyebrow
as
at that.
yeah, I was gonna say, as everybody in the room looks over at you.
Well, you,
Like,
my dear, are the strangest
what?
Vulcan I've ever met.
You mentioned that we could lure them down by saying we had a shipment of grain to deliver to them. What if it wasn't just grain?
Continue.
Do you mean send them back some tribbles?
Yes!
What if it
You are
was
the weirdest
bees?
Vulcan I have ever met.
I'll just kind of look at you, just like a good 5-second stare, and then just go,
I thought you'd all thought of it. I was waiting for reasons why it can't work.
Well, because they're not as before, my friend. That was the whole point of the
All,
job.
every single one?
Well, yes, my friend. Even the ones in my office. I
just kind
cannot
of look
attest
and
for
say,
the ones.
I'll say, and kind of in a placating voice, be like, we'll keep that in mind, Sora. I like your thinking.
I'd like the cut of your jib.
But then go, oh, all right, I think we have an option. We lay wait for them inside the nebula, have the government call them and say they have a shipment that could ready to be picked up, and then we confront them there.
Ship to ship.
Ship.
Well, like, what are we trying to get from them? Are we trying to like say, hey, turn over that Ferengi, or get them to admit what they did, or just
I
blow
mean,
them up? I mean,
we're going to get
we're the Federation. We have to.
information one way.
Yeah.
We're going to get information one way or another. If they comply, they comply. If they don't, then we'll take it from there.
Should we prepare for conflict?
You should always be prepared for conflict. This is a starship in unknown space, Doctor.
I am just.
I mean, I hate to
Obviously.
agree. I hate to agree with the Cardassian, but
Well, I know the captains, right? I just wasn't sure how often mere diplomatic chats go into shooting chats in your end, Captain. I just begun my service with you.
I kind of narrow my eyes and glance at both of you, and then go, "It's decided then."
I
We'll
will go run tests of our weapons and shield systems just to be on the safe side.
I'll prepare the medical services.
Some calibrating, as it were.
Well, no, because we can't steal that much more from EA this
Yeah.
session before we will have food.
How about we just call it the Tribble phage?
All right, all right. Let's make this happen. Everyone to your stations.
Uh, medical stations.
Ringy, I would like to call the not the president, but the trade guy again.
KO.
KO.
All right. He comes onto the screen. There are only 4 tribbles behind him.
Progress.
Hello, KO. We have actually a favor to ask you in further resolving this dilemma.
Anything, he says, like loading power cells into his disruptor.
You see, we think we've pinpointed the ship and company that has connection with this infant station, but we need you to contact them to say you have a shipment ready for them so we can speak to them in private.
What am I telling them I have a shipment of?
Whatever the screen is called again, I don't remember as player.
Panganan?
Panganan.
Panganan.
Just enough. You're trying to recoup your costs, things like that. The Federation has decided to cut ties, something along those lines, because you were unable to, make the shipment. Absolutely not true, mind you. This is just to get them to come here.
He looks uncomfortable. He's like, I might have to ask my supervisor. Like, I don't want to implicate us if you guys start attacking former client.
We don't plan on attacking them. We never attack first, but absolutely talk to your supervisor. If you would like, I could speak to them.
He's like, one moment, ma'am. And he gets up, and you see a couple more triples pop up in the background.
Fall from the roof.
So he comes back. He's like, I got the okay. Just please don't intercept them within our orbit.
Of course not. That nebula's outside the orbit, right?
Gas giant.
Yeah, gas
It's his
giant.
own planet.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Of course not.
All right. So he agrees to call them, and then he calls back a few minutes later, letting them know that they said they'd be on their way within a couple of days.
All right. Oh, I guess we don't need to be at stations then. Guide us to the gas giant, and I believe there is talk of a malt shop on the ship right now.
I believe there is.
What is
I
a
believe-
malt?
God, delicious.
Well, my wife has been telling me we should go, so I guess we have some time to kill. I will be in holodeck 1 if anyone needs me.
I am going to run a few battle drills.
Okay.
Does anyone want to join me in holodeck 1 for a little bit of fluff? Or are we just moving on?
Well, how about this? What if after battle drills, we, for the next hour, we wind up finding you in holodeck 1?
You have to weekly dinner you promised.
Yeah, but I think I wanted to do the malt shop. It's a good,
Gotcha.
and it's
Yeah.
monthly.
No. What I'm saying is like, you know, like the sports team that gets out after practice and goes to the malt shop.
Shop,
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
then we could like meet you there.
Like you get drug, because you know I'm gonna be there, but you're like, oh, fine.
Yeah. Like we run a bunch of drills, and this shift all winds up getting off duty and goes to the malt shop.
The 50s diner.
It's good.
So, Ringy, you'd be okay with having Vita join us?
Oh, the counselor. Yeah, absolutely. The ship's counselor is a civilian, Andorian female, white hair, blue skin, little
Antenna.
blue proboscis-looking antenna sticking up from her. I don't know, just behind the forehead.
Like
The-
right on the hairline.
Yeah.
Is this happening now, or are we doing this afterwards?
No, we're doing it now.
Okay.
I mean, I just declared we did a bunch of drills,
Oh,
and
okay.
I'm good at just leaving it at that.
Okay.
Like, cause who the fuck cares?
I was just given B plot opportunity if people wanted to join me in B plot opportunity.
Yes.
So, okay.
So you and I get dragged down there. You're like, I got work to do. Like, I don't want to hang out with the captain. Of course, I don't say that. I don't say that. But
So wait, how are we dragged?
I mean, probably just the
Social
chains
pressure.
of social pressure.
Oh, okay. So this is a well, somebody's got to go hang out with the captain, I suppose.
I think probably in our cases, you know, it's the people who like, oh, you know, and they grab you by the shoulders and like you
Oh
can't
no, I think
politely-
you know what it is. This is Vivek telling us it's our turn.
You guys are stirring up. Yeah. I had to make small talk earlier. You guys can do it now.
But
And-
yeah, we wind up in a diner.
And so I'm going to be sitting at the booth with the wife and looking at her and go, so let me get this straight. It is the lactate of cow bovine and that's frozen and mixed with fruits.
And or chocolate, Captain.
And
We should
I'll
see
look over my
that
shoulder. and go,
Ungodly
oh,
thing humans can do to them.
I'll probably be there,
Commander.
but just sort of at the counter.
I'm at the jukebox.
Oh, have you figured out how to work that thing?
Yeah, you push the buttons. It's got buttons on the
Well,
front.
that makes absolutely no sense.
Like, I have no idea what any of this music is, but so far I've been playing stuff. What's new, Pussycat? Whoa!
Would that
Oh,
be the
love that
point
bit.
where? Would that be the point where the door opens and Lieutenant Soul comes in with the two tribbles on his hand?
Oh God!
They do
Everybody,
not pop.
everybody recoils in terror, except for the counselor who squeals and runs over to pet them.
One of them has a tiny bow.
Wait. The Tribbles?
the
Yes.
ones that he was allowed to keep,
Sterile ones, yeah.
or the pseudo sterile ones, the ones that like maybe give birth like a a dog would.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
So-
how to break it to him that 2 is still not going to repopulate the species like that?
Yo, just don't tell him.
Okay. Okay.
So they're making their contented little cooing noises as she is petting them. They are very pleasant to have around you. Yeah.
I
She's gonna-
immediately
And then the
realize
Fonz
what's about
walks
to
in.
happen, and I go, "Wait, no, we are not keeping either of those."
But
At her.
She's like, but look at this one. It has a bow, and she like holds it out with two hands.
I'm gonna go stand in front of them and just cross my arms and look disapproving.
what? I need to monitor the development. Of course. No other reason. And I just pet the other one that doesn't have a bow, like if it was a cat, all over the top part.
Commander, those are not to leave Medbay.
Don't worry, and I know. I was just thinking that you guys would like to meet Bonnie and Clyde.
It's a great name.
I see, and I agree. They must be kept in the medical bay and not in my quarters. Right, Doctor? They need to be monitored closely.
Of course, Captain.
I'll monitor it.
No, they are to not leave Medbay.
But where could they possibly be safer than within the captain's personal quarters? With me watching one of them constantly. Look at it, it likes me.
This is the captain's wife, right?
Yes.
Yeah. The Andorian counselor.
I am going to like look over at the captain and make eye contact.
Oh, I know what you're about to do. My eyes give like a little bit of a widen, like I'm not gonna actually. This isn't gonna matter anything, but I do want to see if I can actually get this across. For insight command, I'm giving you the please God no, eyes. Take that as, and I think you're able to read it, but take it
Yeah.
as you will.
I will look back at your wife and be like, I'm sorry, but under Starfleet regulation, they are wild creatures and they are not to leave Medbay.
She pouts.
I'm like,
I'm sorry. I'll make it up to you by bringing my favorite Bajoran wine at the next dinner.
Oh,
Sure.
speaking of which, have you decided what other person you're going to bring?
I'm gonna take a couple steps back and go back to my my frozen cow bovine extract, and conveniently not pay attention to so I don't have to make any choices.
And I will go back to the jukebox, noting, I've really come to like this Elvis Presley guy.
Oh, are you playing Elvis Presley?
Quite possibly.
No, because I had it kind of written down. If you are, you might notice that as soon as that song comes on, Tesora suddenly goes very grim.
Which song?
Any Elvis Presley song.
Okay.
And you see her kind of withdraw, and she's going to retire from the holodeck without explanation. But you could see that like this is she jokes around, but a lot of her deviations from being kind of non-emotional are almost kind of like consequenceless, like almost playfully, like not serious. But in this case, it's kind of hit something in her, and she has to excuse.
As she walks out, I'm gonna
that's-
look over at my wife and go, "That is the weirdest Vulcan I've ever met."
She replies, I'm Andorian, dear. I think all Vulcans are weird.
I will crack up at that.
All right, I think that's a good place to.
I do want to interject one thing. I'm sure at some point I can walk by the captain as the captain is getting another malt at the bar or something and away from the wife.
Yeah.
And I'll just walk up behind her and just, like, you're welcome, and then keep walking.
I was surprised you didn't say you owe me, but yeah, that works too.
Oh, it was implied in the
Yeah.
you're welcome. But I am politically choosing my words.
Okay.
Cause you can't convict on a you're welcome.
I liked that. That was a good scene.
Yeah, that was. All right. Bouncing back towards the Homai. Enters the system after a couple of days. It's pretty quickly identified, and the whatever officer is on the watch calls the captain to the bridge.
I will call all executive officers to their stations.
All right.
All main characters to the bridge.
As you
Or to their
walk,
stations.
if you walk past Tesora's room, you can hear the sounds of classical music being played very loudly. And then when she gets the announcement, she turns off, Rachmaninoff or something, and comes out, and she looks a little bit more composed.
I think I'm really super close to the bridge, so I'm probably don't walk by your thing, but other people might.
Just scene detail in case
Yeah.
anybody's, for the camera at least.
Okay. Yeah, so the ship is slow. You can tell. I mean, it's big. It's almost as big as a Galaxy class ship, and
Oh jeez.
that's in terms of like volume. So it's actually probably got more mass. So it's big, but it's slow, and it's sort of if it rolls into the system, and KO reaches out to you.
Yes.
The Homais here, they're going to be entering our orbit within the next few hours. They're going to be pretty sore if they find out we don't have the Pangadan we promised them. So, if you're going to approach them, please do so soon.
Oh, we were doing it right now. Lieutenant, please do an intercept course, and I'll
Right.
also no shields or weapons yet. We can't appear hostile.
I will do my best to not appear hostile.
I was actually I turned I forgot to say I turned directly to Tanjot
Tanjot.
when I say that.
All right. The ship does sort of like make a heading away from you after you're detected, but it is much slower than you. So eventually it just kind of it stops running and just sort of waits for you to get within range.
Yep.
So-
When we're in range, hail them.
All right, a Ferengi with like a facial tattoo that you've never seen before comes up on the screen. He's like, "This is Commander Bazor of the Orion ship Homai. Why have you intercepted me?"
We are following up a lead of a recent biological outbreak on planetside, and we wish to ask you a few questions.
I haven't been to this planet in months.
That may be true, but biological things can last longer than a couple months. I will read off the star date to him and be like, so on star date, blah blah blah. I your ship was in orbit and a shuttle went to 5 individual locations during that time. Is that true?
Yes, I was negotiating for shipment of Panganan for some colonies of a client of mine. Unfortunately, I was outbid by a slimy interstellar bureaucracy.
Mm-hmm. All right. And there these 5 sites that your shuttle went to correspond with the biological outbreaks. Do you have any information or like knowledge of this and I would like to do an insight like probably or a what do you call it? I'm trying to dig informations. I want to investigate, get in there.
Um. Okay, so
Trying
that's
to
insight
Um,
security, I think. Ever go ahead?
could Jarror help the captain? He seems to be having investigation and interrogation as a focus. He might be able to, not sure, whisper anything useful.
Um, Gerard is to be used for like away missions when to avoid characters not being, I guess,
Just all our away
engaged.
missions have been pretty quick and simple.
Yes,
Got
so
it.
so far.
Got it.
So what you could do with you though is you could like monitor the thing and like assist as in like you're watching him from a medical perspective or something.
Yeah, if I could take sick bay and assist from there, keeping an eye and an ear, would be good.
Yeah, I would say control medicine as an assist to sort of like read his blood pressure and some other things that you can see just through a view screen. I'm trying to think. They can read now pulse and blood pressure and something else like with today's technology through a view screen.
Would medical science apply as a focus?
That's more like an academic knowledge. Well, let me see here. Investigation, trauma surgery.
Also, would this not be presence security?
For you, yeah.
Okay.
Oh no,
I thought you
insight
said
insight security
It
for
would
you.
be insight
Yeah,
security.
absolutely.
Okay.
Presence is you going out. Insight is you getting information from them. How's that?
Okay. That makes sense.
All right. So insight security. So it's two d20.
What's the challenge?
It's opposed.
Oh, okay.
So but I think didn't you have interrogation? No. Oh, Dror has
have
interrogation. You have an
I have
investigation. And persuasion and diplomacy. Go ahead and yeah. We'll give you a. So that's.
But so what I would like to do is I would like to tack my value to make the scene harder to get the
you,
extra.
You don't have any determination left.
That's why I want to tap the thing to make it harder.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So make a complication, I believe, is right.
Yeah. So that's probably the universe doesn't need to like you. Is the only.
Yeah.
Okay, and
The
you're
universe doesn't need to like you.
you're challenging that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And I would like, and so that makes it so, it's adding difficulty to the scene at large, right?
Yeah. So now this is going to be a difficulty 4, but you have a determination.
And I would like to.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not a difficulty 4. It's gonna it's gonna give him an extra die.
And I would like to use my tapped one to get the extra 1 die out of 1.
Okay, so which value are you using to
Question everything.
You already used that one.
Oh, cover yourself.
And how are you covering yourself?
By making like getting all the information and digging by digging making him dig. Does that make any sense?
Not-
Dig himself into a hole?
I mean, I see what you're trying to do. I just don't see how that ties into cover yourself. It can save your life.
When you challenge a value, aren't you going against the thing you believe?
That's what she's doing with the universe doesn't need to like you.
Oh, so
But she
challenging
wants-
a value and then tapping a different one in the same roll.
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
But the only two that she hasn't used are everything changes, comma, deal with it, or cover yourself, it can save your life.
I see.
Okay, but you cover yourself wouldn't actually do it. Okay.
If I could help, cover yourself might work if we open up weapons and say, if you don't tell us, we will open fire.
Well, let's see how it goes first off. We'll do an opposed roll and just let him get the extra one. But I have the determination now that I could use later. Since Rini said that cover yourself doesn't work.
So
I'm fine with that.
All right, so you're gonna roll. You're gonna roll your 2 dice. 9, 5, double success on 5 or less. So 14.
And I'll burn that last moment for this for now
Okay.
for an extra die. And there. Oh my freaking God.
Lot of complications here. Okay.
Do you have a focus?
Yes, she has a focus. So that 2 counts as 2s, as 2 successes. So there's 1, 2, 3 successes there. And then ever you want to roll your 1 die with control medicine.
Hope for the best.
That's enough. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I burn 2 dice so he can roll 4 dice. Or I burn 2 threat. And he's going presence security. And he does have a focus. Okay.
But what I'm going to actually...
Oh no!
Oh my God.
Are you dicking with me?
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1,
Versus,
2,
my-
3, 4. And a comp.
But also, before this is over, I would like to tap my follow my lead and give that to James. Basically, it's during a combat or things like that, I may give a thing to a single ally, and I can roll for free a presence command.
When you succeed at a task.
Oh, when I succeed a task. Oh, yeah, you're right. Never mind. Well, that was just a big screw up. What's the 20 do?
Let me. So, he gains 2.
Dice freaking hate me.
It's been a lot of 20s tonight for sure. I think the complication on the scene is obvious motives.
Okay.
Like he knows what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
God, the dice, man. The dice.
If you have something to say, Captain, I suggest you just come right out and say it.
We have reason to believe that you have planted 5 biological hazards on the planet in the form of tribbles, and to take vengeance upon the planet for not being able to get the grain that you wanted.
Oh, that sounds like an awful petty move if it were the case.
You're
Do you? All the evidence points to you and or your crew. We would like to continue our investigation by having access to your computer records and or any other information you would like to give or that we need.
Absolutely. just show me the written permission from the Orion Syndicate and the owners of the Rapu Corporation, and I'll be happy to comply.
We're going to solve this now.
Are you threatening the...
Yes, please do some hacking.
Are you threatening a member of a, are you threatening a member of a recognized interstellar corporation?
I'm not threatening the member of a recognized interstellar corporation. I'm threatening on behalf of... There had to be some war treaty that said the Breen weren't allowed to stick their ugly little face masks into shit like this in the in this quadrant anymore, right?
Well, no, actually, the Breen were not named by name at the Treaty of Bajor.
Really?
Yeah, so they were there. But yeah.
On behalf of an attack from one government to the other, as you as an in-between. Piracy is not smiled upon.
I open up a private line to Commander Vivek, and I'm just like, oh, Commander, I don't think this is going very well. I think the captain might need a little help.
Can do.
Okay. What are you
That's
trying to
very
do
high.
there, Tom?
I'm trying to, dig up some evidence in their computers while he's just distracted by the captain.
Trying to hack him.
Yeah.
I'd like to join this if I can.
Okay.
I would like to be working on something totally separate while this is going on.
Let's deal with them first,
Please,
then.
because I'm screwing this
Yeah.
up royally.
All right. So Vivek, let's do control security.
Mm-hmm.
Difficulty. I mean, this is a ship with systems vaguely on par with the Federation.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna say this is a difficulty 4.
Okay.
Can I assist with like maybe reason and engineering?
Yeah. This is so you're making the pipeline to their ship easier, and he's breaking through their firewall.
And don't forget about the computer.
I have
So is
a
the-
focus in decryption as well.
Okay. Yes, you do. That means that your crit range is 3 or better on a 13 for 1 die. Vivek's threat range is 4 or better on a 16 or better.
Mm-hmm.
On
3 dice.
2 dice.
Computer expertise.
Computer expertise. Programming or study of computers at a bonus. Okay, on 3 dice. And then the ship's computer will support you with computers security 13 or better, double success on a 3 or better. So Tom, you go first.
Okay.
Not bad, not bad. That's 1, 2, 3. Tesora.
I've worked with Ferengis before, Commander. They're not very creative when it comes to their password.
Oh! Oh! Okay.
It was rules of acquisition. all along.
And then here's the ship.
No, it's
14.
probably
That's
like rule
one
of
too
it was
few.
probably like rule of acquisition number 169.
It's just profit,
which
but they
is-
turned the O into a 0.
All right, so the ship gets you 1, Tesora gets you 2, 3, and then Vivek has 4, 5, 6. So that gets you 2 momentum, and yeah, you succeed in I mean, you can pull. God, yeah, you get evidence. You get the direct
Mhm.
evidence off of their the thing. You know, the like communications
Mhm.
logs with
Mhm.
what I say his name was
I don't remember.
Bazor,
Mhm. Mhm.
where he like specifically tells them to dump the tribbles. Then
Yeah. And dump the tribbles. Copy
All right,
that.
and then I think James was getting ready to do
oh
something.
yeah, what is Tanjat doing?
Oh, Tanjat is like scanning them, and he has got like plan A, B, and C on how he's gonna make them go boom. So, can I roll what control and security? Insight and
Sensors. Hold on
security.
just a second here. Scan for weakness. They're close range, we'll say. So power 1, difficulty is 1. Attribute is reason. Discipline is actually science. But
Really?
no, I would say that security can also work in this particular instance.
Okay,
And
and
then,
then can I tag no stranger to violence?
yes. Yes, you can. So you can use that determination to roll an additional die that automatically gets a 1.
Is that what happens?
But
You-
that's one of them.
on the
That's the perfect opportunity. So these are the things you can
Oh,
do
okay.
with your point of determination. So you can either get a bonus d20 that automatically rolls a 1. You can re-roll the dice, or you can do a surge of activity, which lets you do 2 tasks in a row. That's if you're in combat.
Well, I
Or
will.
create an advantage.
which would be useful if we are. That would actually make a lot. But aren't you already creating an? Isn't he basically creating advantage already with his
Yes,
thing?
that is exactly
So-
what he's doing.
So probably not that.
You could
But
create another advantage if you wanted to, but moments would be helpful.
yeah, I'm just gonna add the automatic 1.
Okay, so difficulty. I already closed that image.
That's 1 success.
So 3 successes.
So
Also,
3
the
success.
ship.
Difficulty. Oh, there it is. Oh yeah, difficulty was just 1, and the ship needs to roll. So you got 1, 2, 3, and the ship. Oh, not their ship. All right. The ship is going to sensors security, so that's 13. Double success on 3. Nope.
Nope.
Okay, so
Alright.
you got 1 momentum, 2 momentum, 2 momentum, and actually, since we're not in combat, we're gonna do 1 momentum, and there's now the advantage locked on target.
Locked on target? Because I was more specifically trying to go for like weak spot.
Then it can be weak spot too.
Yeah.
Okay, you added 2. What does
well-
2 signify?
What do you mean?
Well, you said locked on target, and I was mentioned weak spot. That mean you said it can be that too?
TOO as well?
Yeah. Okay, so we're stacking those.
No. You create.
No,
No.
that's
you-
just you got to name it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So weak spot is now on the scene.
I sort of buzz the captain.
I'll look down at the transmission and go.
Send him, we got this.
I mean, you could also. Are you sure you want to continue this denial when I have, as I quote, drop those little fuzzballs on the planet and watch and see how they like it?
I don't think Ferengi can get pale or blush. Maybe that's just all of the makeup that the actors are wearing. But
It's probably something to do with their ears.
Yeah.
oh yeah, you're
Ears
right.
interesting.
Yeah, his ears do turn bright red. Uh yeah, okay. So he's
Can I have that? Did you need a persuasion roll or anything with that?
no, you've got him dead to rights.
Mm-hmm.
Um You've got me, Captain. You should be very proud of yourself. If only we were in Federation space and you had the legal rights to detain me.
I. That's a good point. I'm gonna. I'm going to say, well, I think what's gonna happen here is your entire corporation is going to be, known all over that entire planet, and word can spread where that one planet talks to another, and then all of a sudden, all your profit have dried up.
He's pretty pissed.
And we all know what a Ferengi without profit is.
If I cared that much about profit, I would be working for Ferengar. Not out here in the frontier of the Alpha Quadrant on a Orion ship. He kind of leans forward. He's like, "My
Sounds like somebody pissed off the wrong people on Ferengar. I'm like,
Oh, can you mumble that? Please mumble
I
that.
actually say that. Like, I say it like I don't even mumble it. Like like sounds like somebody pissed off the wrong Ferengi.
That's one way of looking at it. Another one is I've risen above their petty their petty focus on profit. My mate wears clothes.
So do all the other Ferengi on your planet.
What are you going to do about this?
Well, as you point out, we have no legal authority at this moment in time, but we do have proof for this entire sector. Be warned, you try anything like this again, and we will be there to stop you. And I'm gonna, I want to scare him.
Can I?
We can get some kind of restitution, maybe. But
And you are going to pay for those damages to that planet.
He leans back. I will pay handsomely. But the Federation, no, he's not going to make any demands. He's like, I will pay handsomely.
I am
Wow, we
now
don't have to shoot him or
very
anything. I am
suspicious.
shocked.
I am suspicious.
Can I assist again by seeing if he's lying with the remote monitoring?
I
Yeah,
don't think that would be an assist. I think that would
yeah.
be
Just make a
straight
roll. Yep, roll 2. You are Eversoul.
Insight medicine?
Yeah, insight medicine.
That would be 8 and 5.
What's the challenge rating?
Oh,
Ho ho.
Wow, nicely done. Zoop. He's not lying. He is prepared to pay.
Captain, he is not lying, but I would like to secure the rest of the Tribbles if they do have more. We wouldn't like any more interplanetary infestation.
Oh my god.
you just want the tribbles.
No, I don't.
He seems to be
I'm
loyal
here to
to.
secure them for medicine and science.
Well, we shall escort you to the planet so you can give them their latinum.
Yeah, all right. I mean, he shouts off screen to make heading for the planet, and he's
That's why
like,
Starfleet needs more hackers.
"I'm sure this is not the last time that our paths will cross, Captain. Good day." And he ends the conversation.
I immediately begin writing down all of my like tactical data on that model of ship. Just like, little arrows like weak spot.
Right.
like just a little like notebook style deal.
You
on
got
the side.
literally paper and pen notebook you're traveling down on, and you're getting
Well,
looked
no,
at.
no,
like,
I think it's probably like a little like I got a
Oh.
touch screen like drawing window or something. And I'm
Are
just
you sure,
punching.
man? You came from the trenches.
Oh, that's actually, no, I like that. I am. I've got like a paper book and a pencil, and I'm just like I'm sketching out the ship and like drawing little tactical data on it.
And you get a side eye from me looking like you're insane.
And I give you a look back that says, "Hey, I kicked your ass twice."
Captain, I say in a secure channel.
Yes,
I would
Doc.
like to remind you that those tribbles were not normal tribbles. They have spliced off human DNA on them.
We don't know that for sure. We'll have to test them versus the scans from other tribbles.
God, other tribbles.
Okay. Let me just double check here, but I think. Yeah. Okay. So the Pegadon shipments will resume within the next couple of months. Obviously they need to grow more.
They get paid.
They do get
Daily
paid,
crops.
although they managed to make it out like it's a Rapu Corporation small business loan. So they're actually like doing it out of the goodness of their hearts and not as a form of restitution. And so
they're
like the word gets out a little bit that like the Rapu Corporation is investing in agricultural businesses in the region.
Of course. I'm fine with that.
All right, so let's tie the bow with the final scene in the malt shop, I think.
Doesn't have to be the malt shop again. It could be any place.
No, it's the malt shop.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think a bunch of the crew are in there. Sort of unwinding because it's been kind of an intense 24, 48 hours with, practicing combat and the knowledge that the ship could be facing combat for the first time. Everybody's nerves are on edge a little bit, so somebody has brought in synthahol, or there may be a real bottle of alcohol somewhere, although that disappears pretty quickly when the captain walks in.
As we are walking in, I'll be looking over at Vitcher and go, "How about a targ? I like targs."
She's actually already there.
Oh, okay. Darn.
She's like, targs are smelly.
But they're fierce.
Honey, we're a Cardassian and an Endorian. There's plenty of fierce.
Peggy Sue, Peggy Sue. Oh, how my heart yearns for you. Oh, Peggy. As you hear on the jukebox.
Fierce, big, pudgy teeth.
All right. Well, how about one of those earth creatures with the pointy ears, the big eyes?
Kangaroos.
You mean cats? No, yeah, they really nailed it with those.
I look and go, I wasn't thinking about a kangaroo, but that sounds amazing.
They were my favorite when I was growing up. She kind of wiggles her antennae and she's like, I felt some sort of a kinship to them. From
Next time we're on Earth, we'll get a kangaroo.
from somewhere behind the counter, you hear a.
Mother. Kill it. Drop my phaser.
Is it ever hiding behind the thing with his triples?
Well, he is on the milk bar, but he's having a shake and some fries, and he's sharing the fries with the turtles.
This is coming from a different area though.
Oh.
Oh.
I'll peer over the table.
Yeah, there's 3 tribbles sitting down there.
And where there's 3, there's 30.
Computer, bring up the panel.
The panel appears near where the door to the thing is.
I go over and run a sensor sweep, a level 3 sensor sweep.
It shows like 600 or 800 Tribble life forms on board the ship. And like and as you're running that thing, like they start falling out of like the jukebox. And behind the counter there's the freezer for the ice cream, and then they start piling up in there. And then the bathroom door opens and just like a mountain of them roll out, like The Shining with the blood in the elevator, except it's Tribbles.
I'm going to turn slowly in the swivel chair to the doctor and then just give him a look. Like squinty eyes, and then stand up and go. Commander. Looking over at Vivek. Or not Vivek, Tanjat.
Tanjat, like...
Kyle?
James.
James. Damn it, I almost went the whole game. Everybody in there is staring at you.
What?
Damn it, what's your wife's name, Tara?
It is... I have it. 1 second. Vita.
Okay, yeah, so Vita kind of leans one elbow on the counter. Computer, end program Tribble 1.
Yeah, I was about to mention that.
And everybody in the bar starts laughing as the Tribbles disappear, and you're left standing there holding a phaser in your hand. Except for the 2 on the counter, obviously.
And I'm going to look over at her and just go, I'm taking a bath.
I follow the captain.
Okay, I think that's a pretty good place to end. Right. This has been Star Trek Pathfinder on the Kobold Cafe. I'm Colin, alternately known as Ringy, the GM. And this time I'm gonna go in a weird order. Just cuz. So joining us this week we had Tara.
I played Captain Demore of the Federation, formerly of the Cardassian Union, turncoat. And yeah, it was fun. I had a blast, and I look forward to popping in next week. Also, tune in tomorrow because he's not able to plug his own thing for what the heck is Null Space, another sci-fi game that's happening. Run in GURPS 4th edition. And check out all our previous videos on the koboldcafe.com or our Twitch stream where you're watching it now.
Unless they're watching it at the other place now.
Unless you're watching it at the other place. It's a place. We have a Twitch. We have the Kobold Cafe is the best place to find all our previous streams. We got all the archives up there.
All right, and second in command of the Percival is James McCullen.
Hey, I'm James. Second in command. Bajoran. Who?
Tanjat.
Tanjat.
Tanjat. Who? He got pranked. Like,
By the captain's wife.
yeah. like honestly, good one.
All right.
Oh, and sorry about last week. But don't forget Sundays. We are having a more regular Sunday game as well, and that one is Zombies, and that one is run by Jared, one of our other players who is also not here in this game.
We need to make like a
Plug in that
list
as
of
well.
all of the plugs just so we can do them in one splash.
Yeah.
Because I lose track of all those. All right.
We might actually just want to start waiting till the very end.
Yeah. That
Agreed.
Makes sense.
All right. Chief Engineer Tom.
Yeah, we played Commander Vivek, the lead hacker of Starfleet.
Yeah, you kind of saved the day there a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
really did.
Everybody else was kind of flailing, like, I got this.
I mean, you made it so I didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, I'm kind of laughing. We were the ship with a giant phaser lance, and so far we've talked our way out of everything.
All right,
But
Chief.
that's the Starfleet way.
I know.
Yeah.
Talk soft and carry a big stick.
All right, Chief. Science Officer. Daniel.
Yes, I'm Daniel, and I have played Tesora, the Vulcan science officer. Yeah, thanks.
And then finally, last but absolutely not least, the Chief Medical Officer, Everoth.
Hello, I was Lieutenant Commander Eversole, the defender of Tribble, and proud to say that I am the perfect model of the Federation Medical.
Oh.
That's three strikes. We're officially copyrighted off of
Okay. This has been Star Trek Pathfinder on the Kobold Cafe, and we'll see you next week at 6 p.m.